doing really well tonight. We've got some big news to bring you right from the off. Team news is in, and it's 2 changes for Pompey. It's Jack Watmore in for Andy Cannon and Charlie Daniels for Lee Brown. And it is also, I believe, it's a start for Haji Minoga. But I'm going to have to get the facts right here, ladies and gents, because this is all change. It's almost like getting off a train at Portsmouth Harbour, isn't it? What's going on? So it's Craig McGilvery, Jack Watmore, Sean Raggett, Rasmus Nikolaisen, and Haji Minoga. I can only assume that Jack Watmore is playing at left back for whatever reason that is. Tom Naylor is our captain. Harvey White retains his place alongside Charlie Daniels, Marcus Harness, Ellis Harrison, and Ronan Curtis. So make of that what you will. I mean, there's probably 7 defenders on the pitch tonight. But there we go. A good evening to everyone just joining this room. We've got an action-packed 60 minutes or so for you. In our build-up to kickoff, we've got so much for you to look forward to. In just a few minutes, we're going to take a look back at our Doncaster Rovers away video. And we will also be chatting to Daniel from the YouTube channel 18 Dapper. Some of you may know. He will be providing us a little bit of insight on the opponents this evening, which is good news. We're also going to chat Paul Cook. We're going to chat Darren Moore. We've got so much to discuss with all the usual suspects will be joining us as well. So thank you very much for dropping in to see us nice and early, ladies and gents. If you would, drop us a like. That'd be much appreciated. And what we shall do now is take a look back. It feels like years ago now, and it is years ago. It was 2018 when we filmed this video. Notice at the end, Andrew mentions a certain someone called John Marquis. Make of that what you will. And we'll get back to your comments in just a moment. And as I said, we've got plenty to discuss in the next hour. So stay with us. But let's take a look back now at Doncaster Rovers away back in 2018.
Coming up this week on Fournilwrittenalloverit. These boys sing a song.
Oh, Matty Clark is magic. He wears a magic hat.
I hit my dad with a microphone. Andrew's in goal. And loads more coming up, including this.
1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, baby, say you love me.
Good morning, Andrew.
Yeah, morning, Tom. Good morning to you. What a beautiful morning, 6:30 a.m. start.
We're off to Doncaster this week, mate.
Doncaster on the 25th of August, Tom. A lovely sunny day.
Beautiful. Looking for our 5th successive victory.
Well, it's 4-0 so far, isn't it?
It is 4-0 so far in the league.
We won 4 goals. We won 4 games.
He's on, isn't it?
So it's 4-0 so far, Tom.
Do you like my shades?
Yeah, nice.
We've got a long journey ahead of us, so let's stick some music on. And guess what? For the first time, I think, ever in Fournilwrittenalloverit history, we're going to a place with not 1, but 2 Toby Carveries.
Oh, great. We'll get 2 Tobys then.
Balinando! Balinando! After a night to remember in Bristol, Pompey perpetuates successive sailing away from home in a bid to make it 5 from 5 in League One today. So as you said earlier, on the way up to Doncaster, there are actually 2 Toby Carveries. So we're going to show you a clip from earlier where we were in
Edinthorpe Toby, Tom.
And here we are back in the Toby Carvery Bessacar doing this week's episode of Fournilwrittenalloverit. I think it is now time to head over to Andrew for Team of the Week this week.
Team of the Week this week, Tom, goes to Zenit St. Petersburg for winning against Dynamo Minsk. They were 4-0 down from the first leg, came back in the second leg to win 4-0 in full time, then score a further 4 goals in added on time, having had a winning goal scored against them away goals on the 109th minute by Dynamo. So on the night it would have been 8-1 from the previous leg. They lost 4-0, so they won 8-5 on aggregate. So that's 2 4-0s and a 4-1 in added time.
And if anyone's still here after that, thank you very much indeed. Other special mentions this week go to a team called Barnoldswick Town. They beat Billingham Synthonia 4-0 in the preliminary rounds of the FA Cup. Thank you very much to John McHill for sending that one in. A big shout out and congratulations to Putty FC for winning 4-0 for the first time in their history against Bramble FC on Monday.
Oliver would be particularly pleased with that one.
So it's stats time, and the last time Pompey won in the league Okay, composed. And the last time Pompey won in the league against Doncaster was a 4-3 victory back in April of 2012. Therefore, we haven't beaten them ever in the 3rd division of English football. But with the best start to a season in 38 years on the horizon, could that all be about to change? How you feeling, mate? Excitement building?
Excitement's building, Tom. Look at it.
The only thing that's here is like warehouses and buildings. There's a lake, which is quite nice if you're from Doncaster. Hope you enjoy the lake that you get to see. It's a Travelodge, McDonald's, Beefeater and a stadium, and that's about it. Other than that, it's just warehouses, isn't it?
Looks like warehouses and...
Quick shout out to the British Airways pilot who's just flown in from Toronto on a 6-hour 45-minute flight. Most pilots would go straight to bed after a long haul trip like that, but no, he's off to Doncaster as a Pompey fans. Come and support the boys today. That's what we're talking about. Thanks for the incredible support.
Yeah. Tom, there's the Donny dog there, look, mate. Tom, I think we've got to go down the A-Lake Jeffrey.
2-1, Pompey.
He's confident.
Yeah.
I like that. And are we happy with the start to the season? Obviously unbeaten in 4 now, so...
Yeah, it's good start, great start.
Good. You've been on the go-karts?
Yeah, 3 go-karts, go to the top.
Hey, Tom, we're still on the A-Lake Jeffrey way, look. I don't think this is the right place, Tom.
4-0! 4-0 written all over it. What do you reckon? 4-0 written all over it? Gotta be. 4-0, definitely 4-0. What do you reckon, Mark?
1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, baby, say you love me.
4-0. I don't know about you, but I think it's got 4-0 written all over it.
Oh, Matty Clark is magic. He wears a magic hat. And when you throw a brick at him, he hits a fucker back. He hits it to the left. He hits it to the right. And when we win promotion, we'll sing this song all night.
Tom, Barry Harris, I just see him on a pitch there. You see the size of his ball bag?
Right, boys, what's the score going to be today?
4-0 written all over it. Ronan Curtis scored 2 and I reckon Jamal Lowe will get 1 as well.
Do you reckon Ronan Curtis is a good signing this year?
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Logan, what do you think the score's going to be, mate?
4-0 Pompey, hat-trick Roman Curtis
Nice.
and Jamal Lowe.
And Jamal Lowe.
I reckon if Peterborough slip like halfway through the season, I think we'll do it.
Half-time here at the London North Eastern Railway Stadium, whatever it might be called. It is Doncaster Rovers 0, Portsmouth 0.
Plenty of chances for them, Tom. We're not very threatening, are they, to be fair? It's not like off the edge of the seat stuff, is it? But I think we've had a couple of chances. The referee has been, I don't like to slate the refs, mate. He's been diabolical, isn't he?
Yes, he looks a bit like Prince Philip. Yeah, I think we need to be a bit more pressing off the ball, don't we? I think it's a bit too easy for them to skip down the left-hand side and put a ball in and then...
And the right.
And down the middle. And we're defending a bit too deep for my liking. I know we say it a lot, but Ollie Hawkins needs to be the right side of the ball in order to receive it down on his chest and do something rather than standing there watching it.
Yeah. And also, I think Thompson midfield needs to really maybe change that for Ben Close.
We're here with Leanne, in case you can't hear me.
No, we were not that great. I mean, we need to take our chances. However, the referee didn't help us when they kept going down every 5 seconds. I reckon, clean up a bit midfield, bring Ben Close on, and then up front bring Pittman on, then we'll score. There you go.
So there you have it, the first draw on the road of the season. Still unbeaten though, it did finish. Doncaster 0, Pompey 0. You wouldn't call that
a 0-0, really?
You wouldn't call that a wholesome,
pulsating game?
Yeah, that's not going to be number 1 on match of the day, is it?
No, I don't think so. We need to be a settled team, really. We need to sort out who's going to play midfield and who's going to play up front. No, I think that Marcus looked a bit lively for them. The guy with a bun on his head. Got substituted, he was quite lively, wasn't he?
Overheard some Doncaster fans about a minute and a half ago saying, oh, it's a great point, and that just shows that we're not a team to be reckoned with, are we, considering the start. I'm unsure as to why we didn't go all guns a-blazing as soon as they had a sending off from the keeper.
I think it lifted their spirits a bit as well. And it sort of
Showed that they could deal with it with only 10 men, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's right.
So there we go, mate. Draw's better than a lose, isn't it? Yeah. Can't go wrong with that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next Saturday against Plymouth, who've just come off a 5-1 defeat at home to Peterborough. So we'll see how that one goes. Thanks for watching. Keep the faith. Pompey.
Go south. There's a team down there. Go south. With a lot of flair. Go south. They're gonna take it.
Crikey, don't we miss that? Anyway, good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome along if you're just joining us. We're live on Fournilwrittenalloverit, and very shortly we are going to be taking you through the team lineups tonight. TPO's loving the shade, and the size of his ball bag's probably the comment of that video, isn't it? But hopefully you enjoyed that nonetheless, and hopefully you're looking forward to tonight's game. I definitely am. Let's take a look at the team lineup. But before we do that, we'll have a look at the table as well. Let's take a look. Okay, so Peterborough United are up there in top spot right now. 30 games played, 61 points on the board. Lincoln City follow them, 30 games played, 4 points behind them on 57. Then it's Hull City, who played 2 games more than their top 2 competitors. They have 56 points. Followed by ourselves, Pompey, 2 games less played than Hull, and there's a 4-point gap between us and the Tigers. Sunderland are the sandwich between the 2 sides of the table this evening. And Accrington, Stanley, Ipswich, and I believe it's Crewe Alexandra right now that make up 9th position in the league right now. Sunderland, obviously a team that we play in the next couple of weeks, and that one will, of course, be live here on Fournilwrittenalloverit with us. So that's how the table's looking. First of all, we're going to have a quick look and see what the team news looks like this evening. Let's see what Kenny's managed to pick for us tonight. So as we can see, it's Craig McGilvery in goal. A back 4, one would imagine, of Jack Watmore, Sean Raggett, Rasmus Nikolaisen and Paddy Banoga, Tom Naylor, Harvey White, Charlie Daniels and Marcus Harness. Would you reckon Charlie Daniels is playing in centre midfield, ladies and gents? Let me know. All behind Ellis Harrison and Rowan Curtis as your front 2. So once again, I'm hoping we're sticking with a 4-4-2 by the looks of things. I'm sure someone will be able to quite rightly correct me if that isn't the case. So please do let me know. Good evening to Oakley, who says, I think it will be 3-1 Pompey. Hope to speak to you at half-time. Oakley, I look forward to speaking to you too, mate. I don't know if the stream's gone wrong. I don't know if I'm speaking to absolutely no one or not. I believe I should be speaking to a couple of people. Are we still live is the big question. I don't know. I think it may have dropped out because I cannot get any comments or anything like that. Are we still here is the question. Let me just quickly check. Yes, we are still here. There we go. And now I can see all the comments. Crikey. That was really strange for a moment then. I confused myself. I am still here. I think I am still here. Yes, I'm still here. Sorry, ladies and gents. I completely lost connection on the other monitor and I thought we'd come off the airwaves. But nonetheless, we are here, which is good. We are here. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to have a little look back. This morning, I sat down with 18 Dapper, who is he's actually called Daniel, and he's a Doncaster Rovers fan, and we talked through all things to do with Doncaster. He also gave us a little bit of a thought. Are any of us still here? That's the question. Tom, given the comment, mate, I'm going to go for a yes. Nick Quinn's going for 4-0. Has to be considering Doncaster don't have a manager. Hello, Ollie Ward is in. He's on the stream. He's here. He's saying big Pompey win tonight, I reckon. Ollie, I would absolutely love to see that. That would be huge. And I've just noticed, sorry, a bit distracted. If it says subscribe and leave? Oh, subscribe and leave a like. Oh, and it's shortened. Oh, that's a shocker. Anyway, let's crack on because we've got plenty to get through in the next hour or so. Let's have a look back and see what Daniel had to say this morning when we were speaking to you. When we were speaking to Daniel, sorry, he was speaking of Doncaster Rovers and what we can expect from them this evening. So let's take a quick look. Okay, here we go then. We're here with a Doncaster Rovers fan. He goes by the name of Daniel from the channel 18 Dapper. Daniel, thank you so much for joining me, mate. How are you today?
Thanks for having me on. I'm not too bad based on what's happened this week. Yeah, it's okay.
I was going to say to you, the first thing that we need to discuss is the departure of Darren Moore. I think the news broke sort of yesterday. Your immediate reaction to it, and if you can provide us with any reason behind the move, then we'd be grateful.
Initial reaction was shock. It was very out of the blue. According to articles that have been brought out, he was officially approached on Friday, asked his agent to talk to Sheffield Wednesday on the Saturday. Apparently he was fully focused on the team on Saturday at Ipswich. I'm not sure what you can take from that, if he is or not. And then I believe it was agreed on Sunday and announced on Monday, so a very quick turnaround for a manager to leave. Initially I was shocked, but not the fact that Darren's left to a championship team. I think he's a good enough manager to manage at that level. The timing for me shocked me, I think, and especially the trajectory of both teams. Donny, although a rough patch of form, we're kind of on the up. Sheffield Wednesday, from an outsider looking in, it's a little bit of a circus of a team. No disrespect meant to Sheffield Wednesday, but talking to a couple of Wednesday fans who do vlogs and things, their opinion is pretty much the same, that Chancery and basically from top to bottom, the club's in a bit of a mess. So it's a really strange move, but I expected Darren to leave in the summer, so the timing came as a shock for me.
Interesting that you say you're expecting him to leave in the summer. Was that for any particular reason? You just think Darren Moore might have outgrown Doncaster, perhaps?
Potentially, yeah. I think obviously it depends if the Rovers go up or stay in League One. I think Darren is or can be a very good Championship manager, if not manage at a higher level. He showed it with West Brom. Did very well when he was caretaker manager back in 2018, I think it was. Almost saved them from the drop. If we'd have got promoted to the Championship, potentially he'd have stayed for another season. I think there's so much interest that's been bandied about over the last 12 months because of the way that he's made us play and the squad that he's put together on such a shoestring budget. He deserves a move to the Championship, but the timing doesn't quite sit right with me.
You've mentioned there the fact that he's had to put things together on a bit of a budget at the moment. Do you feel like Doncaster Rovers are overachieving in this season's League One campaign, or do you think you're about where you probably should be at this stage?
I think the board have always said that the target is a top 6. We got there with Grant McCann a couple of seasons ago. We weren't too far off last season before the season got cut short. I think we were 6 points out of the playoffs with a game in hand, so that could have turned around by the end of the season, and now we're well in the mix. Win our games in hand, we're up to 4th. Win the games in hand over Hull, we leapfrog those. So I don't think top 2's out of our reach at the minute, but we've just got to turn this form around quickly.
Absolutely. Daniel, looking ahead to tonight's game, mate, I mean, it's only sort of 45 minutes, half an hour away from now. What do you expect as a Doncaster Rovers fan to get out of tonight? Is it the 3 points, or, you haven't won in 5 now? I know that's a statistic that's probably you've heard enough about in the last couple of weeks, but, do you think you will get something from tonight's game?
It's a tough one. Had we had this conversation before Darren had left, I'd be much more confident in saying we'll be playing a 4-2-3-1. This is the likely lineup. I've not seen the lineup yet, but with Andy Butler taking charge, will we keep the same formation? Possibly. For the continuity, I think he might start changing it in future games, but for this game I think the work will have already been put in before Darren's left, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a 4-2-3-1. Free-flowing football, we've had that a lot this season. I've seen on social media that Darren Moore plays an attacking football. I'm not too sure about that. Over the last couple of games, we've had the play from defence through to midfield, but the final third we've just really been lacking any sort of ruthlessness. So I'd love to take the 3 points. I think we need to. It's a 6-pointer for both teams. With the current situation that we're in, I'd take a draw.
I'm going to play devil's advocate for Pompey fans right now. I'm just going to say that notoriously, especially down in League One, following the departure of a manager, sometimes form can really spin on its head and you start winning a lot of games. Do you think there's any opportunity that will happen tonight under, I believe have you got a new manager in, am I right in saying that, or is it caretaker at the moment?
I think the official term would be caretaker manager, but he's got it until the end of the season, according to reports that have been put out, so I can't see any official announcement of a permanent manager until the end of the season, so it's Andy Butler's to lose, apparently. Yeah, I agree with you. The form does tend to turn on its head. I think we've got a good continuity with putting Andy Butler from a player up to manager. He knows the squad, he knows the staff, he knows the club. So hopefully that plays in our favour, and we don't see too much of a speed bump going into this back end of the season.
Absolutely, and from what you've seen of Pompey so far this season, you know, we've got your old mate John Marquis in our squad, albeit he hasn't played for the last couple of games. Not sure if he will make an appearance tonight. Where do you think Pompey will finish by the time we're looking at the table in May, given what you've seen from us so far this year?
This season, I'd say Pompey would be best described as inconsistent. Although you're doing well and fourth in the table, results where you'd expect Pompey to be coming away with the 3 points, you've struggled. Like Saturday against Gillingham, I'd have put you down as a win. Came out with 1-1. But the players that you've got, the squad that you've got, you should be there or thereabouts come the end of the season. It's still very tight up there. Minimum playoffs for you guys, potentially top 2. It depends how Peterborough and Lincoln continue on their run of form.
I was just about to mention, actually, after that question was, are you surprised as a Doncaster Rovers fan that a team like Lincoln City and Peterborough at the moment, but Lincoln City in particular for large parts of this season have been the pace setters in League One? I'm sat here thinking, how bad is this league right now if a team, no disrespect to Lincoln City, but you'd expect your Sunderlands, your Ipswich, your Hull City, your Pompeys, your Doncasters to an extent to be leading the way in this League One season. How surprised are you by the way the table's shaping up at the moment, and can we actually draw any comparisons until everyone's kind of on level terms? Because at the minute, some teams have played a lot less games than others, haven't they?
Yeah, it's been a really weird season. I mean, you look at Accrington Stanley as well. I wouldn't put them in the top half of the table, and I don't know if it's because fans aren't in the ground. I think that might be a bit of a leveller, especially at places like Portsmouth and Sunderland, where the crowd is such, it's the epitome of that 12th man. And I think the lack of that from watching football this season, every game has that pre-season friendly kind of feel, and I think teams have been able to play football a lot better, or a lot more, being able to deliver what the manager's wanting. If I look at Donny for example, we've been playing out from the back a lot. I think if fans were in the ground, we'd be putting pressure on to not play that way, and because we're not there, they've been able to continue playing that style. I think that's just kind of made it a real level playing field, and it's showing with the likes of Sunderland and Ipswich not doing too well this season.
If you had to call it now, Daniel, where would you see Doncaster finishing in the league this season?
I'd like to say top 6, but based on the last 5 games, one point out of 15, the change in manager, that transition for me is massive. This month is a huge month, starting with tonight's game. If we see a turn in form, I don't see why we can't be top 6 pushing for top 2. I've got a funny feeling that a season might just peter out and it might be a 10th to 14th finish for us, so it's literally poles apart at the minute. It purely depends on how Andy Butler galvanises the squad and pushes forward from this.
We're playing Sunderland, Ipswich and Peterborough all within the space of the next 3 weeks. From a Pompey point of view, how many points right now would you think we will take from those games? Obviously it's yourselves, then it's Northampton, then Sunderland, followed by a trip to Wembley, then we've got Peterborough, and then after that Ipswich. Is that really key right now, and should Pompey fans be thinking this is kind of season defining games at the moment?
Yeah, that's a big turning point in the season, isn't it? I think if you get a minimum of 9 points from that, you're looking good, especially with the teams that you're playing, because winning 3 points from us tonight is, like I say, it's like winning 6 points, getting that extra bit of space between us, and it's the same against the other teams as well. So yeah, 9 points, and I'd say you're in a very positive position.
And just finally, a score prediction from you, Daniel, and then give us a player to look out for tonight as well.
So I have gone with a 2-1 to the Rovers on my preview, but that was before Darren Moore left. So as I said earlier, I'd take a draw. I think we'll concede. So I'm going to stick with my 2-1. Positive. I'm going to stick with it. Player to watch for, I would say either Bostock or Sims. Bostock will sit just between the midfield, just in front of the back four. Pulls the strings, is a fantastic player. And Josh Sims will play on either the right wing or the left wing. His pace is rapid. It's absolutely electric. So if he gets the ball and attacks one of your fullbacks, he could cause problems. So one of those two to watch out for me.
Daniel's channel link is in the description of the stream, so you can go over there and have a look about what he had to say. And if you're watching this retrospectively, I'm sure there'll be a reaction to the Pompey game tonight as well. Daniel, thank you for your time, mate, and I will speak to you very soon. Best of luck for tonight.
Thank you very much. Take care, mate.
There we go. That was Daniel, who I sat down and spoke to earlier on today, and he's quietly confident. Something else that we can be quietly confident is this. Next Tuesday, it's the big one. Portsmouth versus Sunderland, live in League One, right here on Fournil written all over it.
They're a dangerous team. They're not as dangerous as us, obviously, but they're a dangerous team.
Never in doubt, mate. Absolutely never in doubt.
But generally speaking, we're heading the right way, and that's up.
Charlie White. Is he magic?
Who?
Charlie White.
No, it's terrible.
It's live from Fratton Park and kickoff is at 7:45.
That is something we are very much looking forward to bringing you right here on Fournil written all over it. Next Tuesday, we will be live for Portsmouth versus Sunderland, and he is as William has quite already said, he's a decent bloke. Daniel, I really appreciate his time for coming onto the stream. Two other people who are incredibly decent blokes are Brennan and Mike, who we'll always be speaking to in just a moment. But before we do so, I'm just going to have a quick look ahead to see what is still to come after tonight's game here on Fournil written all over it. So it's a big couple of weeks, actually. Northampton Town are Pompey's next trip away from home this Saturday at 2:15. Followed by, as we just mentioned there, and I've just given you a bit of a preview to Portsmouth versus Sunderland live Tuesday the 9th of March. 6:30, join us for our build-up. Kickoff is at 7:45, so plenty of time to get our teeth into the evening. That one is also available on Sky Sports Football, but the only place to watch it, as we all know, is right here on Fournil written all over it. Following that, it's a trip to this place, Wembley Stadium, Saturday the 13th of March from 2. And then after that, we've gone for crucial before, but I'm going to say critical now. 2 critical games in League One. Peterborough United versus Portsmouth, Tuesday the 16th of March from 6. And then this one looks even more tasty now, doesn't it? Portsmouth versus Ipswich Town, live Saturday the 20th of March. Join us from 2:45. Myself and Alex will guide you through pre-match. And as I say, it's Paul Cook's return to Fratton Park. Gents, let's talk about that one to start off with. It's the return from Mr. Paul Cook. We weren't expecting that one, were we, in a couple of weeks?
No, not at all. It's his second return since leaving. So, shame the fans aren't there. Give him the welcome.
Stole my thunder. I was going to come out and thought, what a shame we can't either give him a clap or give him something else. But it is a bit of a shame. Yeah, but I mean, hopefully they won't get promoted. I'm sure we ain't. So we'll see him next season anyway.
Yeah, he'll be flanked by Gary Roberts as well.
I know. Gary Roberts is the first team coach tonight, isn't he? Well, not tonight, but is he tonight? He might be involved tonight. I'm not sure, but he's definitely there as their first team coach. And Brendan, he's not a bad guy to have in charge of your first team, is he? Gary Roberts.
No, not at all. Not at all. He's a great servant at Pompey, and seen him throughout the years in the lower leagues. As we said, he's the lower leagues Zidane, isn't he? And he definitely lived up to that mantra when he put on a Pompey shirt. Definitely.
Exactly. Brendan's sorry, not Brendan, but Mike. Brendan's quite right there, isn't he? I'm having a bit of a nightmare of my words tonight. I don't know if you've seen so far. But anyway.
As much as he's good, he will be good for the team, morale, getting them up, G them up. I want Michael Doyle back at Pompey.
Yeah, Doyle.
Yeah. So they're both influential, great players for our club, and for the time that they were with us, and they've got plenty of experience. I don't think you can do much worse than having those two as people in your backroom staff. They don't have to be the manager. They don't necessarily have to be the under manager, but they've got something in them that people and fans appreciate who like hard grafting players.
Mike, despite recent poor form, Doncaster have only lost one of their last 10 against ourselves. How do you see this one going tonight at the Keepmoat?
Well, that lad you had on before, sorry, I've forgotten his name already. What was his name?
Daniel.
Daniel. He basically, what he said about his strike force is exactly the same as ours. You get it all the way to the last third, and we can't put it in the net. And that's exactly like Doncaster. So, is it all going to change tonight? Are we going to get some decent goals put in the pack? Here's praying, here's hoping. But it sounds like they've got problems with the front strike force, and so have we. I mean, they've got that ex-scummer, haven't they? Sims playing for them. So, I mean, I miss not being at Fratton Park to give him a bit of aggro of the year role anyway.
Absolutely, Brennan. I'm just going to quickly have a look at the how the two teams compare in terms of their form, and then we'll discuss in just a moment. But this is how, going into tonight's game, these two who will be locking horns, and you'll have a look in a second, and you'll see that form is not the best for two teams that are challenging the playoffs. Let's have a look. So as you can see there, it's
Bit of
4
a
losses in the
freeze
last
on
5 for Doncaster Rovers. And also Pompey not looking too great either. Only 2 wins from 5. 2 of them have been losses, and then obviously that 1-1 draw at the weekend against Gillingham, which was rather deflating to watch, wasn't it? What do you? Is form anything to go on when 2 teams are sort of having a dip mid-season, or do you think we just got to go into this one with an open mind?
I think it is going in with an open mind. You know, I don't like to think the negative side of things about Pompey and thinking that, oh, it's all doom and gloom. You know, at least on Saturday we didn't lose. That's the main thing. That's the way. That's what I'll take away from it. We didn't lose. We scored a goal. It wasn't a bore 0-0 draw. But you know, I think you've probably seen about the lineup tonight, and you know, it's a much positive outlook. I think a lot. I know sometimes you make some vast changes to the team, and it can throw the whole karma out of kilter. But I think this might actually be, you know, a very strong team we put out there.
Absolutely. Let's have a little quick refresher of the team lineups if you are just joining us, and then I'll put it over to you both just to discuss it as well. So as you can see there, it's Craig McGilvery in goal. A back 4. We would imagine Jack Watmore playing in that left-back position alongside Sean Raggett, Rasmus Nikolaisen and Haji Manoga. Then your midfield 4, again, one would imagine, Tom Naylor, Harvey White, Charlie Daniels and Marcus Harness, all behind Ellis Harrison and Ronan Curtis. So Andrew's just joining us as well, gents. We'll have a look at the we'll have a chat with him in a moment. But obviously John Marquis, Ryan Williams, both on the bench tonight. And obviously, I don't know, did I read that wrong? But is Andy Cannon anywhere to be seen either tonight?
Yeah, he's on the bench.
On the bench.
He was on the bench. Okay, what's your immediate reaction? I know you've just been talking about it, Brendan, but how's your dad feeling about this one?
Well, I like the setup of the team tonight. It's different. He has done it once or twice before, but let's see if we can get a decent result on this and then stick with a formation like this. I think it's got benefits. We're going to certainly get down the wings and push them further back into their own territory, which is good. I appreciate Cannon's not in the team. Perhaps he needs a rest. He has done a hell of a lot of work. I mean, it would be nice to rest Naylor as well. There's no way you could rest both of them together, I don't think, not rest if they were injured, then they couldn't play, obviously. But yeah, I think this should be very interesting to see what happens tonight.
I think Daniel.
Evening, mate. Evening, chaps.
Hello,
evening.
What's your reaction to that? What you've just seen on there?
I think I agree with the guys that he needs rest, hasn't he? Probably he's worked really hard the last 6 games, especially, I think. And it's a rotational squad, isn't it? And I think any one of those players can come in for the other, really. So I think it's all right. Marcus for Harness. Harness doesn't do enough for me. I probably would have started
Williams. Yeah,
Williams. Yeah. But there we are. That's the way it is.
Okay, Mickey has just attempted to find some jammy dodgers, and he's tried 3 different shops, and none of them had them. Mickey. I don't know if you're in the UK or not, but it is a simple Tesco job for us.
Other supermarkets.
Well, it was a simple Tesco job, and they're only like 80-90p as well. I thought, oh my word.
No, let me correct you there. Tesco's are doing them for 50p if you use your club card.
Well, well,
there we are.
That is where I'm missing out big time.
That is actually breaking news, Tom.
Well, in a second, we're going to speak to Retro Shirt Sean, who's just showed us something quite magnificent backstage. But
I'm going to go and get a month's worth in a minute.
You go for it. You go for it. Gents, just a final one from you both. A score prediction, and then Brendan, I'll ask you this, but do you feel like tonight does really hinge our promotion hopes this season against a good Donny side?
Definitely, yeah. I'd like to see tonight. I think, a similar result we had last year, wasn't it? 2-1 away last year when Harrison got the winner in the 91st minute.
Yeah, last week.
And I thought I'd drop that in there for you. But I think it does rest on us now, because obviously they got 1 game in hand over us, and if we get the 3 points, and obviously they don't get any, it sort of keeps us above them and helps us get towards and securing our either playoff spot or automatics position.
Absolutely. Gents, for the moment, thank you very much indeed. That was Brendan and Mike. 3-1. 1-3.
Positive. Be positive. 3-1.
We'll take that. Thank you, gents, for the time being. What we are going to do now is we're going to speak to someone who I imagine is incredibly happy right now. It was St. David's Day on Monday. Also, they're still in. There you go. St. David's Day on Monday. Also, not a bad result, was it?
Battered you all in the rugby.
I know.
Free help whatsoever.
Don't get big. Hey, don't get big about that. Scotland beat us as well.
I say after Saturday's match, I say that was a bit uplifting actually. Watching some decent rugby. Okay, there the ref was involved with 2 of them, but the second half it was quite good. Pity that Pompey can't do the same.
Yeah, looking back to the football, Richard. I mean, we're unbeaten in our previous 2 visits to the Keepmoat, and in fact, we've only lost 3 out of the last 11 games played there in South Yorkshire. So, how do you see this one swinging tonight?
Strong team, though. I think I say they'll only get into the playoffs by credit like ourselves, and I think yes, they've still got the 2 games in hand. But I say they've still got that, the positive outlook, like Pompey tried to be, and I think it's going to be a close game tonight. Really do. The formation that's been put up, you mentioned a 4-4-2. What the BBC have put it up as, or the providers are available, but they've got it a bit of a mixy blob with, they've got it down as a 3-4-3 with Daniels on the left midfield, supported with White, Naylor and Minugu, and then 3 in the back of Watmore, Raggett and Nicolaisen.
Who's your 3 up top on that one, Richard?
I've got Harness, Harrison and Curtis. Curtis being on the left.
Right.
So,
yeah.
It looks quite interesting actually. They've certainly gone there.
It's one of those. One of those, Richard, that we'll have to wait and see what happens, won't we? We haven't really seen this setup before, and if it works, isn't it?
That's it, when it flashed up on my phone. Yeah, when it flashed up on me. Oh, I need to have a quick look at this before I come on, because I thought there's names all over the place. It's like they just sort of, whether it's Jacket's set of chicken bones, he's just chucked them against the wall and, hope what comes out wins. But in the first 10 minutes, I think that'll decide for which formation they're actually playing, and and see how we go from there. But because I think they're playing a 4-2-3-1, they've got as their formation, so it should be good.
A couple of familiar faces in there as well for the Doncaster lineup. Omar Bogle leads the line for them. What do you remember of him back in those days, Richard?
Not a lot, really.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Say.
That's all you can say, isn't it? It's good that he obviously left it, go elsewhere, because he go somewhere else before Doncaster.
Yeah, he was at Charlton. He's only actually recently joined them. I believe it was during the January transfer window. That
Cardiff.
Oh, right, quite close.
Cardiff was his parent company, wasn't it?
Parent company, was it?
Yes.
Right.
Football's
a business these days. Well, it is, isn't it? I suppose. Just finally, Richard, are you feeling positive for this one tonight?
After the first 10 minutes.
Okay, and we will.
No, then.
Oh wow, always never positive.
How positive were you feeling before the rugby, Richard? To be fair, at the weekend, so
very positive.
Oh, you were okay. Well, that blows that one out the window then. Okay,
but we haven't mentioned that name I posted to you during the week.
Yes,
someone called Eric Ramsey. Have you had a look at him?
I haven't. Should I have done?
Well, he's currently the under-23 coach at Chelsea, and he's one of the youngest, if not the youngest, pro UEFA license holder. When he got his ticket, but he used to be. He was at Shrewsbury for a couple of years, coach there, first team coach, and obviously he did do a bit of managerial stuff there. But he was also in the running, I believe, for the recent Shrewsbury job. Obviously, that got taken not so long, at the start of the season. But yeah, and I've got very close links with him. A lad that I go running with is one of his best mates. He lives in Oswestry, and yeah, so. I think he'd be a name to put, in the future to think, oh, Eric Ramsey, remember that being mentioned.
Please keep an eye on him for us, Richard. That would be much appreciated. And hopefully we will be speaking to you at halftime with a bit of a spring in our step in terms of the football and a bit of positivity about. Shall we speak to you at halftime, mate?
That's it. Let's keep smiling. Cheers, mate. Ta-ra.
Keep smiling. That was Richard, who's very kindly joined us before we get going tonight. And someone else who's very kindly joined us, we're going to speak to Retro Shirt Sean in just a moment. Mr. Adam Poirier is here and ready, mate.
Hello, mate.
And tonight, mate, my first question to you is Paul Cook is now an employee of the mighty Ipswich Town. Your reaction to that?
He's a good manager, isn't he? I mean, not much else to say, is there? Like, Ipswich are a good team, and I think they need that at the moment. I mean, all love for Ipswich and everything, but we're a Pompey channel. It's about us now, isn't it?
Sorry. We'll move on.
The connection was Cook. Yeah.
Well, the connection was Cook. Anyway, let's move on. Despite the recent form, they have only lost one of their last 5 games at home, Doncaster, in League One.
Yeah.
Although, albeit. And actually, having said that, Pompey have my word, can't get the words out. Pompey have just 1 loss from our last 6 away matches as well. I know it's nothing to go on at the minute, Adam, because we just desperately need the result. And I think from the other side, they do as well. Do you see it coming our way tonight?
I mean, a lot of things can play into effect. I mean, obviously Doncaster have just lost their manager. So who knows? Their confidence could be rock bottom or it could be sky high, really. They could be looking to prove a point or they could be absolutely down in the dumps. I mean, we don't know. We really don't know what we could expect from their team. I think we just got to play the way that the team's put out. I mean, I'd have no idea what that formation is. Is that 5 at the back? Is that 4 in the midfield?
I saw your comment come up and I thought you completely lost it. Do you want to just explain?
I thought Daniels would be left wing back, Minoga would be right wing back, and then I'm like, would he really be a right wing back? I don't know. I've lost it. I really have. I'm so confused. I know Curtis will be up front with Harrison for sure, because I think they played well together last time, and then Harvey White left centre mid area. But apart from that, I have no idea. I really do. It's a bit all up in the air.
Well, let's wait and see, because it might just turn out to be something that we get incredibly surprised by, and it springs upon us quite nicely. Andy Butler is the man in charge of Doncaster Rovers tonight. You just mentioned there Darren Moore's jetted off to Sheffield Wednesday. I don't know if you saw the start of the stream, but I spoke to a guy called Daniel, who's a Doncaster Rovers fan, and he said that they've given Andy Butler till the end of the season. So, and I also put the question to him that quite often, especially in a league like League One, when a manager leaves and departs, the players sort of, I don't know, do they play with a sense of freedom a little bit more and, results start coming their way? I know you don't like me mentioning Ipswich, but they have recently. Now Lambert has gone. They've started, I know he was sort of on the way out for the last couple of weeks. They started to pick up results against our opponents tonight and Hull City previously to that. So do you think that has an adverse effect when a manager leaves and the players start playing for the club again?
Of course. They're just out there to prove a point, I guess, that they always were good. I mean, they've got the manager's played the team the way he wants it, and other players are now thinking it's a complete free roam now. I think they're all on the level playing field that they were now. So really, who knows with a team that's lost their manager? No one knows what's going to happen. They could play excellent football for all I know. No one knows.
No one knows. Something that we do know, Adam, is that you've recently started your new job. How is that going? Is it going?
It's very weird. It's very weird. Very weird that not seeing people in the office, not having an office. It's quite hard, I'd say. But no, it's going well. Thank you for asking. It's really weird though.
We have the luxury of going to our office as and when we want to, so we're quite fortunate. A couple of offices we've got locally we go to, but a friend of mine lives in Newcastle. It's the same position as you, working from home, and he makes it his regime to stop at lunchtime and take his dog out for a walk for half an hour and eat a sandwich, get out of the house and do a bit of, get some fresh air, get out, whatever the weather, get out there for half an hour and break it up a bit. Otherwise, it will become, as he said, just monotonous, and therefore you get bored with it and fed up with it, don't you? That's the thing.
Yeah, it's especially with my industry, you need to clear your head a lot with a lot of ideas and things that are coming through. I mean, you'll probably know as well that sometimes you just get bogged down and you you definitely need to clear your air. So I need to plan
which
my
industry you're in.
the advertising and marketing, sort of like, I mean, putting yourself
Oh.
out there, media as well. So
Right.
I mean, Tom will probably know a lot about it.
Mate, looking for stats and overlays gets very monotonous sometimes. Trust me. Trying to do these streams. Anyway, Adam, I wish you all the best of luck over the next couple of weeks. We'll speak to you at halftime anyway. We'll see what your thoughts are on the first half. But congratulations again, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Right, it is Retro Shirt Sean time. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Hello, Retro.
All good, my lads. All good. All good.
Good. You've got your glasses on. I feel left out. I want to put mine on. There we go. Right, carry on.
You look more intelligent.
I know. I love the glasses. Loving the glasses. We do all feel. The problem is you get lots of reflections over the lighting that we've got going on, but that's okay. My initial thought tonight, Sean. I mean, we've discussed it quite lengthy already this evening, and I know this is a Pompey channel, but it's the link of Paul Cook, isn't it? And me and you had a little conversation over Instagram earlier regarding that. You know, you're right there. What are you having? Oh, that's a surprise. He's getting a Jammy Dodger out. And have you seen the state of that? Look at that. That is unbelievable.
Mrs. H was good, and it comes in. It comes.
Oh, here we go.
With packets of baby Jammer Dodgers inside it.
Oh my word!
Massive. I like that.
Can I ask where you got that from, Sean?
Mrs. H got it for me. I think she did an Amazon purchase. She's a nightmare with parcels.
Right. Okay. There's someone who lives in our household that's a nightmare with parcels as well. It's not myself or Andrew. What was I going to say to you? Yeah, I think that might be an impending birthday present for you later on in the year. That massive tub of jammy Dodgers. That's ideal. Ladies and gents in the chat, let us know what your score prediction is. We're now sort of 13 minutes or so away from kickoff. I was going to ask you, Sean, your reaction to the news of Paul Cook heading off to Ipswich Town, and then also closer to home in terms of this evening's game, Darren Moore's departure from the Donny.
Yeah, I think Paul Cook's a good manager, and having that passion from the sidelines, it puts an extra step into the. It's nice to see the players when they're not performing getting shouted at, and I like it. And Paul Cook always wore his heart in his sleeve, and I think he did a good job for us all throughout. I was sad to see him go, but I think for Ipswich, he'll turn things around there. He knows the players. He'll get them to play a nice attacking football. It'll be interesting. And I'm excited for them. I really am. It'd be nice to see him.
I had a chat with a guy in the office today that Ipswich will get promoted now.
Well, we spoke about it the last stream about 15 games to go. If we change Jacket to someone like Eddie Howe, would it make a difference? At the very, very least, it would, like you say, change of managers with Darren Moore going. Players tend to want to prove themselves to the new guy. And, they find that extra yard, the string in the step, and suddenly the slates are wiped clean. The favourites are no longer the favourites, and everyone's trying to prove themselves. And it's not a bad thing once in a while in a club.
Is that something that we might see happen with Doncaster tonight, given the departure of his name's gone, Darren Moore?
Yeah, definitely. There'll be players there wanting to prove themselves. The fringe players, if they get a chance, will have another step in their pace. They'll be sort of looking at, hopefully, trying to put one over on us. We'll see. It's going to be a tough game either way. I'm kind of hoping it will be. I'm going to be positive tonight. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Pompey.
Oh, everyone's being positive tonight. This is what we like to see. Well, we've got two more gentlemen to speak to. We are now just it's almost less than 10 minutes to go. Sean, don't eat all those jammy Dodgers at once. I know there's some baby ones, but they're deceivingly Moorish, aren't they? So I think go on.
I was just going to say about the formation quickly. I think it's a 5-3-2, and I think you'll probably see it switching between a 4-4-2 with Daniel stepping into midfield. And Nicolas
4-4-2 out going out to the left, and back to a fight. Yeah, no, I like the sound of that.
Let's see if Jacket's that intelligent.
We'll see.
Well, I love our reaction to that comment. All three of us just had to process that for a moment. Sean, we'll speak to you very shortly, mate, and hopefully we'll all be as positive as you have been pre-match that we will at half time.
Indeed. See you later.
Cheers, mate. Right, well, it is now time to speak to the legend. But before we do so, something very exciting happening just 7 days from now. Next Tuesday, it's the big one. Portsmouth versus Sunderland live in League One right here on Fournilwritten all over it.
They're a dangerous team. They're not as dangerous as us, obviously, but they're a dangerous team.
Never in doubt, mate. Absolutely never in doubt.
But generally speaking, we're heading the right way, and that's up.
Charlie White. Is he magic?
Who?
Charlie White.
No, it's terrible.
It's live from Fratton Park and kickoff is at 7:45. We're really looking forward to bringing that one to you here on Fournilwritten all over it. Someone else who I've been really looking forward to speaking to all day is the legend Sean Meads. I'm sure Andrew echoes my sentiment there. How are you, mate?
All right. How are you?
We're good, Ledge.
How you doing, Andrew? Back all right?
Yes, mate. We're all good. We've got the old jammy Dodgers going, mate. So we're all good.
We're ready to go.
I'm on the Riveters.
How do you see this one going tonight, mate?
I'm confident. 3-0. And I could push to 4-0.
Oh, could be a 4-0 written all over it win tonight then, my son.
Get closer to your microphone, bud.
How's that?
That's better, yeah. A little better, yeah.
Yeah,
confident
to win.
So how do you get that confidence from the previous 7 games?
Well, the obvious losing the manager. And I just don't think... I think we got better... We're better at going forward than they are at the back. So as long as we create the chances we should create, we'll be all right. But there's always, you've always got...
It all sounds so simple, Sean.
Well, it should be, shouldn't it? It should be. But what do you think, Andrew?
With the players we've got, well, I think with the players we've got, individually, they are probably the best players in this league, and by chance, possibly that with a group of players that we've got, the squad we've got, maybe even middle to top end of the championship, I'd say, with the right direction and attitude and formation. Sticking 2 up front tonight makes me very happy, because that is something we scream for every week, isn't it? Home and away, to put 2 up front, you've got twice the chance of scoring then, haven't you?
You have.
Just a tad to your right, Ledge, so we can see you.
How's that?
There he is.
There he is. We can see you now, mate.
All right. My disappointing part really is we haven't created 2 partnerships. Up front, you should have a partnership, and the back should be a partnership. We just don't create it as a moving unit. You know, a centre forward should know what his other mate's doing all the time. And we just haven't got it because we don't stick to a system.
And do you think he also doesn't? I know it's a long season, but do you also think he does too many knee-jerk changes? Doesn't give enough time, a player enough time to settle into the side or to prove himself. 1 or 2 games and you're out, aren't you?
True, but then you got to produce, haven't you? You can't be, given a chance and not take it. It's all about taking your chances when you get your opportunity, isn't it?
Can I just say it's a horrendous metaphor that we've set ourselves up for, that Adam has quite rightly pointed out. Are these jammy Dodgers, or are we Kenny Jackett promotion Dodgers? That is a very good question, and I think that's probably comment of the evening so far. Legend, I'm going to spin that into a question for you, mate. Will we be promotion Dodgers under Jackett this season?
Well, we'll win tonight, but will we get promotion? Is that your question?
That is the question, mate.
No. And you know why? Because I told you in the week with my picture.
You did. You did tell me in the week with the picture. And I'm going to have to refresh myself. You're going to have to enlighten us all, mate. What was on the picture?
This. That's a carrot. That's Kenny's carrot, right? And
yeah.
That's for that. Because I reckon if a successful season for Kenny this season is to go and win that Tim Pot thing, and they'll be happy with that, and they'll give him an extension of his contract because of what's happened, and it'll be to the owners, it'll be a hit and miss season. So I think he's aiming for the cup final as a success.
Okay, and you're going for a 3-0 win tonight.
Going for a 3-0 win tonight.
Okay.
Well, I didn't ask you this question, but I want to ask you tonight for May, because I've asked lots of other people.
Quick as you can, possibly. As quick as you can.
Would you stay in League One for another season if Jackett was gone,
or would you take promotion with Jacket? What would you do right now?
Stay in this league.
Well, then you're saying it the same as everybody else. So that tells you a lot, doesn't it?
Jacket's not the man for us, I'm afraid.
No.
Okay,
right.
Legend, thank you very much indeed for that,
Catch up
mate.
your half-time,
We
mate.
will speak to you very soon. That was the Legend, and we are going to go straight to Mr. Aaron Newland, who has been waiting patiently. Good evening, my friend. Welcome along.
Evening.
How are you?
I'm very well, and I've changed my mind to that question Andrew asked me on Saturday. I'd rather go to the Championship with Kenny. And the reason why I'd rather go to the Championship is it will all be about survival. For the first 2 seasons, stay away from relegation, and in the 3rd season, then push to mid-table. I'd rather go up with Kenny. So I've changed my mind now. So sorry, everyone, but I have changed my mind. After thinking about it, yeah, I'd rather go up. Because next season...
I tend to agree with you, Aaron, on that one. I think I would probably... I know I'm sat next to a man who's been asking every single person that he knows the question, and they've all given him the same answer, bar myself and yourself. But I think
on Saturday, when he asked the question, I could not answer. Then I just picked one, and then after thinking about it, I'd rather go up. I'd rather go up, and then fair enough. Give Kenny another couple of years.
I'm going to now tell you the reason why you're wrong.
Right.
Because if we get promoted this season under Kenny, it will be a miracle for one. Secondly, if we did get there, in the first 6 to 8 weeks, we'd lose every game. That's a fact. And we would be bottom of the table and everyone would be praying for his head and he'd be gone by Christmas. That's the only salvation I've got if we go with your result.
Well, hopefully he'll prove it because he's a technical genius, remember?
One game in the Valley, mate, he was, and then it went back to normal.
But if we do go up, no matter what happens, it will be all about survival. That's all it will be. Is the first couple of seasons, stay away from relegation. Yeah, we're going to lose loads and loads of games in Championship that first season, but as long as we win enough to keep us up, then I'll be happy. So I'd rather go up, and then it will skip out this Papa John Trophy. I reckon tonight is the start of good things. We're going to win tonight, win on Saturday, win next week, win the final, and draw against Peterborough. So we're going to get maximum points, win a cup, and then draw against Peterborough. I think personally we need, if we can do that, then we will get automatics in 2nd place, because Paul Cook's gone to Ipswich now. I reckon personally that Ipswich will win the playoffs. Personally, because I know the sort of man Paul Cook is, and he will be pushing it.
If we lose to Ipswich in the playoffs, I wouldn't even hear the end of it, and 2, it would just be a disaster, won't it?
Yeah, but I've changed my mind about the question. I want to go up, and I reckon that today is going to be the starting point. I know Darren Moore's gone, but I'm more concerned about Ipswich now, not Doncaster.
Concerned about Ipswich. Anyway, hang on, we haven't got time. I'm so sorry.
I say one thing.
I'm really sorry. We honestly haven't got time.
I've got to say this.
We haven't got time.
You've got to listen to this. The doctor can see you anytime, mate. Just phone him up and have a word.
Okay, Aaron, we'll speak to you at half-time, mate. Thank you for jumping in. The teams are out and they are ready to go. And I would just like to say, very warm welcome along to Smithy Board. Welcome to the stream. We are going to beat your noisy neighbours tonight, mate. We'll do our very best for you. And hello to Jack, who's jumped back in once again. Hope you're well, mate. Welcome along. And Mickey said, don't mind us him taking us up, but we'll need a better manager once we're there. And I'll be honest with you, mate. If we get up to the Championship with Kenny and we have that 6 to 8 week period that you say we're going to lose to absolutely everyone, I think that gives us the opportunity to recruit better in terms of managerial stance, and we'll go from there. Tom Naylor is on the toss. Sorry, God.
Tom Naylor's a tosser?
Oh, dear. I really just said Tom Naylor's on the toss live on YouTube, didn't I? It is Doncaster Rovers that win that toss, and it is Kenny Jackett who we are looking at on the touchline. He's got some nicely fitting trousers on this evening.
Yeah,
the whistles are blowing all over League One. All over the country this evening. We'll keep you updated with every score. However, our main focus is obviously the game at the Keepmoat this evening. Live on Fournilwrittenalloverit, and a very good evening to everyone who joins us. You have the final word before the kickoff, mate. How do you see this one going? And come in a little bit as well.
I'm not sure, Tom. I would be interested to see how it starts in the first 10 minutes. different strike force to start with. I think the formation's different. Something had to change, didn't it? And we are due a win, aren't we? So I'm not going to get carried away. If we won this 4-0 tonight, I would still be thinking, crikey, Saturday's coming soon.
Absolutely.
I'm not confident, Tom. That's not me being negative. I'm just not overconfident.
Okay. Well, I am, and I think it's going to be a big win for Pompey this evening. Let us know what your score prediction is as we get underway here at the Keepmoat Stadium tonight. Dario is joining us all the way from Buenos Aires this evening. Buenas noches, Dario, and thank you very much for joining us. And if you're brand new to the channel, make sure you drop us a subscribe as well. And the players are off and underway. And Ronan Curtis went a little bit early on the kickoff there, just before the referee blew his whistle. But we are off and underway at the Keepmoat. And Pompey have the ball, courtesy of Ellis Harrison. It's an early chance for Ronan Curtis. Chests it down in the box. And oh, my word, it bounces just millimetres wide, actually, from Ronan Curtis. And that, mate, was a
power driver.
One of the earliest chances I've ever seen. That was crazy. It was a great ball in from Harrison.
He's done well to take that.
He's taken it on his chest on the spin, and then it just bounced.
If he catches that right, it's one.
I know. That's crazy, isn't it? Before we get going tonight as well, I think we should pay our tributes and respect to the sad loss that we had earlier today of Ian St. John, who was Pompey manager between 1974 and 77. You'll obviously be able to pay a better tribute than I will. Massive with Liverpool in the day. What do you remember of him?
Nice guy, Tom. Nice gentleman, football giant, really. Sad, isn't it? But to be fair, he's had a good innings, hasn't he? 83-ish, I think.
83.
Not 4 bad, is it?
No, exactly. And all of us here at Fournilwrittenalloverit are sending Ian St. John, Ian St. John's family, the very best wishes. I believe we might have gone quiet again, so I'm. Oh no, we're okay. We're all right. I think we're fine. Right, and we've lost the iFollow as well. That's not good news, is it? Should we have a bit of a refresh? Bear with us while we refresh. It's going to be so much better in a couple of months, isn't it, when we're back in the stadium? Right, let me see if I can find the live coverage yet again. It has been dipping in and out during the hour of build-up that we've had here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. So I'm not sure if anyone else is having iFollow problems in particular. But we should, with a good wind, be back up and running. And we are, and it is a goal kick that the Doncaster keeper, Louis Jones, is going to be taking. Ronan Curtis is one of the furthest men forward for Pompey in their white kit, white shirt, black shorts, black socks, and a variety of different coloured boots. And there is the Doncaster man, Tom Anderson now. Marcus Harness has managed to win it back on halfway. Here's Charlie Daniels working his way down the left-hand side. Ronan Curtis is just too much on that one for him, and Louis Jones will come and collect and redistribute to Tom Anderson. And I think we're both sat here at the moment, Andrew. I'm trying to commentate ever so slightly, but as we'll talk about that in a moment, as the experienced head, James Coppinger, is working his way down the left-hand side. Is he going to look outside? No, he doesn't. He's going to put a ball back into the box. There's an early chance, and it's just whiskers wide there. And it was almost Pompey looking over their shoulder to see what was happening. That was a decent opportunity. 2 very good opportunities in the opening 3 minutes there. It was James Coppinger who opted to go alone. He had Josh Sims to his left-hand side. Tom Naylor was there, and Charlie Daniels watched it go over his head.
Tom, it starts with Raggett. He's running away from the man.
Brad Halliday with the opportunity.
Stop him. Stand in his way, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, that was dangerous early doors, isn't it? So it's a big opening at the Keepmoat for both sides. Not a bad opportunity as a ball sent long to Sean Raggett, who will look to deal with it more conclusively than Lee Brown did at the weekend with that with the ball. He should have just knocked his head on it perhaps against Gillingham.
Volleyed it out of the park.
Interestingly, Kenny Jackett did say during the week, proving he's not a man of his word, that Lee Brown would start tonight. That was his word. That were his exact words on Thursday. And Lee Brown is on the bench tonight, and he's not playing. And Adam did quite rightly call the backline setup. Absolutely. Sean has asked in the private chat on the stream, how is Andrew taking no cannon in the side this afternoon or this evening? Sorry.
Well, I'm going to be all right with it, Tom, because the guy has worked so hard. He needs a rest, and I think probably Saturday, Tuesday. He's played the last sort of 4 games, and he almost he's come on up sub or he's played, hasn't he? And I think the point is he probably needs a rest him for the game. I think I don't see there's any point. I'd put Williams in there instead.
Here comes Matthew Smith. He's breaking
into the box. Josh Sims, dangerous ball in, and Tom Naylor was on the ground to batter that one away.
Jack nearly gave a free kick then.
Accrington Stanley have gone 1-0 up early doors in their game against Ipswich Town. Paul Cook's reign not getting off to the best of starts at the, I believe it's the, what do they call it now? The Wham Stadium at Accrington Stanley? I think it still is the Wham Stadium.
The Oil Fields Stadium?
No, that's the Crown Hall Arena at Rochdale. Crikey.
I've been there as well.
Yeah, we've got some fun places, haven't we, that we get to visit.
Chips.
First corner of the evening for Doncaster Rovers. Ball goes in and Hajib Manoga rises the highest. That one's out as far
That's where you do it.
as Tom Anderson, and the boots put through it from Hajib Manoga, who got the contingency plan initially didn't quite work, but he managed to get that one away. It's Dean Charles who's got the goal for Accrington Stanley. Back here at the Keepmoat, Doncaster Rovers playing it around the back, and Harvey White's backtracking ever so slightly. This is Matthew Smith. 21 years old, he's a Welsh international, and he's going to be very pleased with the week he's having as a Welshman as the ball is put through to Marcus Harness. Imagine being Welsh and an Ipswich fan. What a week you're having. Doncaster Rovers playing it around quickly in their own territory at the moment, Andrew.
Why did you mention Ipswich fan?
Because of that, Paul Lambert's gone, hasn't he? Paul Cook's come in and they beat Welsh in the rugby. No.
Oh, I see. Imagine being Welsh.
Welsh and an Ipswich fan. There's loads of good news coming at the minute.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'll stop mentioning Ipswich because I feel like that's all I'm doing tonight.
Well,
it's not.
Stop talking about them because we're not really that interested. But
what we are interested in,
see what Cookie does with it.
It's only because of Paul Cook is the reason why I keep bringing it up, because it's interesting to see. Here's Hajib Manoga for Pompey. He's done really well to keep hold of the ball. And there's the captain, Tom Naylor, who fires one long. And I was hoping that there was going to be someone running onto that. But Andrew's
I shouldn't use that sort of language.
Reaction tells you all you need to know. It wasn't the best from the Pompey captain, Tom Naylor. I'll give you that one. 6.5 minutes has been played now. Louis Jones is ready to take a goal kick, and he's taken it short. And the ball is alive and active. And Ellis Harrison, and again, I think this is going to be the story of our evening with iFollow, but I will do another refresh. And before we say any more, Andrew, what have you made of Pompey's start to the evening so far?
As I expected, Tom, it's hot and cold, isn't it? That's the phrase I'd use, hot and cold.
Bit of a basketball match so far, isn't it?
Well, I think both desperate to win. I think we might be
6 pointer for both teams, isn't it, tonight?
Ronan's probably trying to overdo it as he does. Gets too excited. I think sometimes just gets over ambitious about some things.
You could see right from the off he was really up for this one tonight, wasn't he?
He's up for it. He's straight into them, which is great because you want that aggression, but you want it channeled, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Is it doing it again? No, it's not doing it again. We're okay. We're fine.
No, it is.
Here we go then with Marcus Harness now. This is not good, is it? Connection issues for us, ladies and gents, tonight. I'm just going to close down a few things on here to see if that makes a difference. Tom Naylor now finds Rasmus Nikolaisen, who's been a bit of a stalwart in the last couple of weeks.
He's been good here.
He's done really well. There's a cross ball over to Hajib Manoga in the box. And oh my God, the angle was incredibly tight for him, but he did really well nonetheless. He's caught offside, unfortunately. That one's a little bit hard to be fair, the camera is quite zoomed in, so that's a difficult one to judge.
You can't argue with it,
but you can't argue with it. And it looked as if he was called to be off, then he probably might have been off. And we have played now 8 minutes here at the Keepmoat this evening. It is still Doncaster Rovers 0, Portsmouth 0. A very good evening, and thank you for joining us here on Fournilwrittenalloverit tonight. Brilliant cross, but I just talk you through the chance that we had there. Brilliant cross ball from Harvey White, and then the opportunity for Hajib Manoga. He just went a tad too early, and that subsequent offside will be taken from Louis Jones, who fires one long and up the pitch. And Sean Raggett is the closest one to that, and that is Tom Naylor with the outside of his right boot, hoops one over to Harvey White. Ellis Harrison rose for it. Harvey White has had a second opportunity here. Another opening for him. Another opening from Tom Naylor, but he's given it away to Doncaster. And here they come. Jack Watmore beaten to it by Josh Sims. He's a dangerous player.
That Bogle is.
Yeah, Omar Bogle. 3 goals, 1 assist. 1 assist? 1 assist? Singular.
He hasn't. I believe I might be wrong in this, but I believe he has been there since the January transfer window. I think he's one of Charlton Athletics' departures just a couple of months ago. And Ronan Curtis has done really well to get the better of him, and he's been pushed there. And the referee will get brandish a yellow card actually there. That will be for John Taylor, who is another good player for Doncaster. He scored 4 goals and assisted on 2 occasions so far this evening. Sorry.
I'm nervous. I'm eating another.
No, me. What am I saying? 4 goals and 2 assists so far this evening. He's have a blinder of a game, isn't he, John Taylor? Sean's come in saying 4-4-2, 4-3-3 while we're attacking with Jack at right back, then 5-3-2 when defending with Hadjid. It's a bit of a Leicester City setup, isn't it? Where we play it. I'd say more teams do it than Leicester City, but that's the example that sprung to mind. Is that you base yourselves upon a 4-4-2 out of possession and. I don't know. It's different, isn't it? So, and it is jammy dodger time, as Anthony's quite rightly said, and Andrew's getting involved. He's getting nervous. There's confirmation of that yellow card for John Taylor. First one to go in the book, as Paul Cook would say, at the Keepmoat this evening. Ball goes in, looking for Ellis Harrison, but again, he's rather standoffish as he quite often is, Ellis Harrison, and the experienced head of James Coppinger will get things going for Ipswich Town. He said there for Doncaster Rovers. Here comes Reece James, the right back for Doncaster Rovers, not to be mistaken with the Chelsea Reece James.
No, we're playing at Doncaster, I don't think.
Jack Watmore's played the ball back to Sean Raggett, who hasn't got all the time in the world, and Omar Bogle tries to second guess what he's going to do, which I was surprised he got it wrong with Sean Raggett because he's very black and white in what he's doing. Doesn't really deceive people very well.
Omar's blind.
Here comes the ball. Reece James again. Got a lot of space to charge into. Tom Naylor's stepping off him a little bit. Josh Sims now cuts inside away from Hadjid Minoga.
They've got plenty of space, haven't they?
This is John Bostock. My apologies. Bostock again. Plays the ball through. It's almost route one to Reece James, who puts it past Craig McGilvery. And that is 1-0 Doncaster. There has been the opening goal. And you can't argue with it, Andrew. It's very much been coming so far tonight. And the silence says it all. Just 11 and a half minutes is on the clock. And that was simple as you like for the home side.
Too many times they cut through. What did I say 3 minutes ago? Get to them, close them down, move into... Look at the space he's got. You can think about what he wants to do. No one's moving. No one's challenging it, mate.
Hadjid Minoga.
Shocking defending. And that's not just defending. It's closing these players down. They got the ball. We get the ball. We get 2 players on us. They got the ball. We give them 14 yards.
One of the easiest goals that Reece James will score all season. And that is not the best start. But Charlie Daniels is trying to recover things somewhat for Pompey with a throw-in. Marcus Harness on this near touchline. He's lost out, and the referee says that'll be a Doncaster Rovers throw-in on inside their own half. And Amy's quite rightly described it, just as you did, as shocking. So welcome to the stream, Amy.
I'd like someone just to explain why we are giving them so much space and time on the ball and opportunities to look for the pass and pass it. You've got to get to these people, Tom, and make the tackle. That's double-footed, ref. The front 4 has given it as well.
He has given it.
The front 4 are actually, when I say the 4, that sort of diamond across, those front 4 are actually making those tackles. The back 4 and the midfield aren't. I'd argue if Andy Cannon was on the pitch, he'd be closing them down a bit quicker.
Yeah, I believe there's probably going to be another card brandished here.
It's got to be.
It will probably be for Joe Wright. Wasn't the cleanest of challenges. Comment there from Alex O'Connell. I'm just doing my best to give you as balanced a commentary as I possibly can, Alex. I'm very much not happy that they've scored. Andrews, the gentleman sat next to me, will give you a one-sided view on things from a Pompey point of view, and I will try and tell you the facts as to what's going on. And Harvey White luckily wasn't injured in any way, shape or form by that one. But nonetheless, it will be a free kick, and it isn't a yellow card. I believe it will just be a talking to. Had he made contact with Harvey White, I think we would be looking at a different story. Here's Charlie Daniels' ball into the box, and Jack Watmore with an opportunity to send one into the top corner, but it's gone high and over the crossbar. Giuliani to Rebecca. Can't decide whether I'm happy or sad at the current result at the moment, but Pompey losing. But my older supports Doncaster because he's from Doncaster.
How are you? We're not the best, to be honest, Rebecca, at the moment. We've been better, but there we go. Jake has said, and you want to watch this football again and again. I really can't stand this football. He is clueless, shocking, past it. Needs to go now. Depressing football.
Early to call it, bud, but it's been 3 years.
Well, it's also only been 10 minutes or so, and that'll be...
No, it's been 3 years and 10 minutes, Tom.
I think that is a yellow card for Marcus Harness there, early doors, who will have to see the replay, because I was reading a comment at the time. It wasn't the best challenge on Josh Sims.
In truth, Tom, in honesty, the players out there, professional players, they know, they don't need to be told by Jacket or Gallen that they've got to close these people down. They know themselves they've got to close them down.
Another Pompey corner has been conceded by Hadji Banoga, and that's the 40-year-old James Coppinger, who will go and retrieve the ball.
Very slowly by the looks of it.
Very slowly, using his experience just to slow the game down a little bit.
Harness on the yellow now.
Billy, I wouldn't describe it as a good goal, mate. I would describe it as probably the easiest goal that Reece James will have to score this season. It really was pretty much route one from the edge of the penalty area, straight through. Hadji Manoga was left on his bum, and it was just a simple outside of the boot tap in that beat Craig McGilvery. And 15 minutes has been played at the Keepmoat. And this will be a corner to be sent in. And there is the corner, and it can't quite beat the first man. And as Harrison was nearest to it, he'll get a second opportunity, but it's not a conclusive clearance. A bit of a pull down the box there from Ronan Curtis. Might have been a penalty on a different day. Referees opted to play on. This is a serious Pompey counter-attack, though. Ronan Curtis working his way down the right-hand side. Marcus Harness muscled out of it. It's a brilliant defensive.
Look at them closing us down.
It's a brilliant defensive display from Doncaster Rovers, isn't it? And it was very quick. Josh Sims and I believe it was Omar Bogle actually who combined in order to make sure that one was bundled out of play. And Jack Watmore, almost with his shoulders down and not looking incredibly happy at all, walks over. Is going to take a long throw into the penalty area. Doesn't quite reach Hadji Banoga, and it will be another opportunity pretty much in exactly the same place for Jack Watmore to take another throw in. Ben has said Jacket has plenty of time, and we do the same thing every season under him. We deteriorate slowly, but surely scrape the playoffs. It is boring. Accrington Stanley are down to 10 men against Ipswich Town, having going 1-0 up.
That's dangerous.
Jack Watmore again with his third throw in the space of a couple of minutes. If you're just joining us, ladies and gents, a very warm welcome along to Fournilwrittenalloverit. We're 1-0 down at this moment in time. Still a long way to go in this game. And still the Pompey pressure is on as Marcus Harness fires one into the box. Ronan Curtis rose the highest. It almost looks like there's always at least two Doncaster players ready to pounce on any potential Pompey opportunity on the ball. And Charlie Daniels has been rather outsmarted there by Doncaster Rovers as the turnover in possession connotes a bit of a counter-attack for them, and white shirts flying back for Pompey. Reece James, the goal scorer on the ball now, plays inside to Josh Bostock. That one's might have a little bit too much on it for Ben Halliday, but he's got there nonetheless, and that'll be it's a heavy challenge from Ronan Curtis, who will probably go into the book for that. Referee just going over to have a quick word with him. Your assessment on the opening 18 or so minutes, Andrew? Same old,
Tom. Right now, we aren't defending well. We aren't giving the only people having a go, as I said, the strike force are the only ones closing players down quickly. The midfield and back four aren't. I'm repeating myself from earlier, but it's so basic, isn't it? But as I said earlier, Jacket don't need to tell them to do that. They need to do that. But what are they doing in training? They're looking at Doncaster Rovers, look how quick they move the ball about and pass it about. It's entertaining, isn't it? Much more entertaining than watching Pompey. I'd rather go and watch Doncaster every week. That's saying something, isn't it?
Absolutely. Ball threaded through.
Look at the balls. Slice balls through there.
Slice like butter is a phrase that you used against Gillingham at the weekend. Clearly that one hasn't been sorted out. Here's James Coppinger. There's Omar Bogle with plenty of space there inside the penalty area. Rasmus Nicolaisen. Reece James now.
Get into it.
Right-hand side on the edge of the D. Tom Naylor's been deceived by him, and there's a shot away, and Craig McGilvery will come and claim that one. Hadji Banoga fires that one longwards, and it was Josh Sims who was challenging there. It's remained in play for Doncaster Rovers. No, it hasn't. It will be a throw-in for Pompey, and I believe it will probably be Charlie Daniels to go and collect that one. If you're new to the channel, ladies and gents, and you're just joining us, this is the first time that you've seen myself and Andrew. We're not normally this negative, but it hasn't been the best opening 20 minutes or so here at the Keepmoat. Make sure you drop us a subscribe, drop a like on the stream as well. That'll really keep us sane tonight, because it looks like at this moment in time, although there have been Pompey opportunities at the other end, it is going to be a rather long evening unless we can buck our ideas up rather quickly. And for legal reasons, the word was buck. The referee frags for a throw-in for Doncaster Rovers on that far side. Plenty of flags donning the far side of the Keepmoat Stadium. Ipswich Town have just missed a penalty on 18 minutes. James Norwood failing to convert, and the score remains 1-0 to Accrington Stanley. Back here at the Keepmoat, the 20-minute mark has now been reached. There comes the throw, and it's Omar Bogle who will fire one over his right shoulder, and this is Rasmus Nikolaisson's one to chase back to his keeper. He does so, and Craig McGilvery's going to have to dispatch rather quickly, and he does so. Come under pressure as always. Hajibanoga. The ball reaches Josh Sims. And Doncaster, you could argue, are playing all the football right now, keeping it inside Pompey attacking half. Ronan Curtis really going in to win that one back. You could argue, Andrew, that's his best act of the evening so far. And that one, again, it's just reached a Doncaster player, and Harvey White doing his best to chase it down, and he will get in there for that one. And Harness, again, is just late to it, but the Pompey captain regains possession for the Blues in white this evening, and the ball is back with Jack Watmore, who is actually playing in a right-back role at this moment in time. That ball is long, and Ellis Harrison's given up before he's even got to it, but it was heading out for a Louis Jones goal kick, and you don't blame him for perhaps retracting ever so slightly and not wasting energy to get there. Stan has said we need financial backing. Isons needs to give Kenny the money for a signing, and Kenny, as a former defender, needs to tell his players to stop panicking and hoofing and start attacking from defence. Best form of defence is attack. I completely agree with you. Rune, it's not good. Well, White is Harvey White's been okay. No one's really done particularly well so far tonight. Yeah, there's just not an awful lot to tell you with regards to any half decent Pompey performance. We haven't really seen anyone shine so far. Probably Ronan Curtis, arguably, with a decent bit of trickery on the ball as I speak. Marcus Harness has found Hajimanoga. He's in the box, and is that a penalty, referee? No, it won't be, and that will be I believe it'll be a corner ball bundled over in the box. He's the referee's actually waved away any potential for a penalty, and I would argue he hasn't actually got the ball there, to be honest. Tom Anderson, and he's very lucky to get away with that one on second viewing. I don't think the referee was probably the wrong side of him to see that he didn't get any of the ball, and it might have looked like from his point of view, but I would argue that that is a stonewall penalty for Pompey for me. And if anyone disagrees with that, then unfortunately you're wrong, and go and take the course. Here's Matthew Smith.
Isn't it a pleasure to watch Doncaster pass the ball to
It is. It is. 22 minutes 45 on the clock. This is Matthew Smith. 21-year-old has got all the time of day to eventually find John Bostock. Incredibly lackluster opening 23 minutes from Pompey, as Harness is chasing the ball down as the furthest man up for Pompey right now. And as Aaron has quite rightly said, for me, that is a penalty. And Jack Watmore's gone down there, and it will probably be it's going to be a foul for him, playing as Pompey's right back this evening. And would you argue that the disruption in terms of possession, in terms of formation tonight, has arguably led to the poor start tonight, Andrew? Maybe the players just not quite in tune with what Kenny's asked of them this evening. As we speak, I'll get back to that. Ellis Harrison on the edge of the box, and he fires one over, and there's absolutely no one there, and it'll be quite easy for Reece James to take down and hoof away, and that one will be Jack Watmore's to kick back in. He's not done an awful lot with it, and the ball eventually finds Josh Sims, and then subsequently Reece James. This is Harvey White in the centre of midfield for Pompey now. Once again, Tottenham youngster. The ball is not the best, and it was just needed the the Doncaster number 11 to stop in his tracks. John Taylor is a bit of a shout for a penalty there from the referee.
He went to shoot Tom and kicked the bottom of it.
Right.
I think it was Jack Watmore's foot or someone else's. I can't see who it was, but
anyway, there's a brief pause in play as whoever it is that's down on the deck gets a little bit of treatment. Once again, good evening and thank you for joining us here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. 25 minutes has been played, so we're over the halfway mark in this one. We've got our jammy dodgers to keep us sane because, quite frankly, from a Pompey point of view, this has been absolutely shocking. Hull City have taken the lead against Rochdale. That gap is growing by the minute between Pompey and the Tigers, and Omar Bogle is receiving a little bit of instruction. Kenny Jackett giving the doctors more instruction than anyone right now. Stands there with his arms folded. This probably would be, if you were Kenny Jackett, probably the opportunity to call your players over and have a bit of a team talk. But unfortunately, that's something that isn't happening at the moment. And it's nothing I can report more on that. It's
exciting. It's rip-roaring exciting.
Well, it looked really kind of tactic-minded from the Doncaster technical area, and Kenny Jackett just doesn't really want to speak to anyone.
The manager is talking to them, and he's talking to them. They're discussing it on the touchline, and he's talking to the players and giving them full instruction. The Doncaster manager, or Doncaster standing manager. Jackett stood there with his arms folded because he hasn't got a Scooby-Doo what to do.
Absolutely. As it stands, Doncaster are now level on points with us with 2 games in hand still. Pompey slip to 5th in League One. Sunderland are above them by 2 goals of goal difference.
Us, you mean? Above them, you said?
Yeah.
Above us.
It's a neutral stream.
Oh, it's not. It's a 4-0 stream. It's a Pompey stream.
It's a Pompey stream, but
Yeah, it's
for the purposes of commentary.
Oh.
And I know it's okay, Pompey above us. Sorry.
You could say above them because that's a plural.
I don't play for Pompey, mate.
Well, you are a Pompey boy, though.
I'm a Pompey boy. I will always be, but I don't play for them. We've sort of abandoned that 3-5-2 that Retro Shirt Sean was speaking of at the minute. It's almost looking like it's just Sean Raggett and Rasmus that are back there at the moment, and it's Omar Bogle is the salient attacker for the Donny. It is still Peterborough United. That courtesy of their win this evening will
brilliant. Look at this.
Cement.
Look, Raggett's just played it into Jack Watmore. He's got a free kick right there, hasn't he? And he's got Omar standing on his shoulder and 2 other Doncaster players, and he decides to take 2 touches and pass it to the far right-hand wing. And luckily, it came off them to get a free throw-in.
The game is young, and Rasmus Nikolaisen played one over to Charlie Daniels. He brings it over halfway. On that far side, he's done well. I was about to say he's done well to find Ronan Curtis, but that one.
He did, to be fair.
He's caused a throw-in in an attacking position, and Charlie Daniels has rushed over to take that throw-in, eager to get things going for Pompey, and that really has not gone to plan at all, and Ronan Curtis just inadvertently kicked it back out into touch, and that will be a Doncaster Rovers throw-in deep inside their own territory, and I believe it's going to be a substitution, perhaps.
For Doncaster?
I'm not quite sure who it's going to be. It will be for Doncaster.
So players hurt his foot.
And it will be the number 11, John Taylor, who is making way for Okinabere.
He's injured, I think, mate.
He is. He has picked up an injury. He will be unable to continue. And there he is there, John Taylor, who won't be adding to his 4 goals that he's managed to gain so far this season for Doncaster Rovers, at least this evening. He is off, and Okinabere is on the pitch for Doncaster. No changes as of yet to tell you about from the Pompey camp. 28.5 minutes has now been played. Craig McGilvery under a bit of pressure from Omar Bogle, who's the furthest man forward for Doncaster Rovers to get that ball up towards a more attacking area of the pitch for the visiting side. Ronan Curtis at this end putting pressure on the goalkeeper Louis James, who just had to pause himself and compose a couple of moments before the ball eventually reached him. And here is Tom Anderson, who's threaded a ball through, but that one will meet Jack Watmore and will head straight back to Tom Naylor now. Good vision from Watmore, but unfortunately Curtis wasn't in the position to receive it, and that'll be another Doncaster Rovers throw-in on that far side. Hope you're doing really well tonight, everyone. Better than we are. If you're new to the channel, drop us a subscribe. There's There's plenty of weeks of Fauna written all over it content to come for you. It kills me to say this, but we have got we've got 3 of the top 6 to play in the next couple of weeks in the shape of, Ipswich aren't quite top 6, but top teams in League One. It is Ipswich Town, Peterborough United, and more recent, closer to where we are now in terms of time, it is Sunderland who will make the trip down to Fratton Park. The Mackhams will be Pompey's opponents from a week from today's date. Here we go then. Here comes Josh Sims, who is arguably the most dangerous asset that Doncaster Rovers have, and Jack Watmore just muscled him out of that one, and there was no need for the referee to blow up for a penalty, although some of them in the EFL might have done so. Marcus Harness has managed to gain a free kick in an attacking position on this near side. Interesting to see the technical areas are relatively close to each other at Doncaster Rovers.
Perhaps Kenny could learn something.
You don't. Oh, that was quick from you. I like that. Ellis Harrison chasing one down now. Tom Anderson has done well to catch him on the spin, prevent any potential. Oh, the Linos made a shocking call there. That was definitely Pompey's ball.
It wasn't, mate. It wasn't. It came off of Haji.
I don't think it did.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It did. I was watching it.
You're not happy, are you?
No.
Reece James. Could be a long evening, says Retro Shirt Sean. I cannot remember a more impotent Pompey display. Oh, wait, the last 7 games. And how can we be...
Impotent, you're saying, isn't he?
Probably just my...
Impotent, yeah.
Impotent, sorry. My apologies. 31 minutes now. But do you agree with him? Impotence is on display tonight?
Limp is the word. Limp. And I've got to say, I've been busy scratching my ear, Tom.
Nice. Dreadful. It's quite a nice one from the legend Sean Meads.
Oh, crikey, they nearly gave it away.
Hello to Charlie Jenkins, who's a proud member of Team Good Morning Andrews. Just joined us, and we're 1-0 down already, Charlie. And here we go again. Well, hopefully, we're still half an hour into this one.
Look at this.
Doncaster with the lion's share of the chances and the possession so far.
I'll just say, let me come into this and just say, watch them pass the ball to each other, move into space. They're everywhere. Look at it. It's great to watch.
When you say they're everywhere, I completely agree with you. They are absolutely everywhere.
Look at the passing and the space they've got. Look, there's 3 players there. Not one of them made a challenge. Look at it, straight through.
There's the ball through.
Here we go. I'll tell you what, if Omar was 2 years younger, would he got that? They're just slicing through us, mate. It's embarrassing.
Really ramshackle from Pompey's point of view so far. 32 minutes.
I can't put 3 passes together. Look at it.
It almost looks like
look how many players are on this.
Yeah. It almost looks like we don't really know each other out there on the pitch.
Well, we don't. We don't know what we're doing. It's frightening, isn't it?
Yeah. It is a free kick that and he said Geordie Hawula then. Haji Manoga has managed to pick up for Pompey. Plays back underway. Ronan Curtis is just going to have to sit underneath that one as it's headed down to Matthew Smith. The Welshman finds...
Who's telling Jack Watmore?
The experienced head of James Coppinger. And oh my word, I think Rasmus was lucky enough.
He was offside.
He was offside, and I believe the whistle had gone. But I reckon Rasmus probably would have got there a little bit before.
Who is telling...
Bogle
Who's telling Jack Watmore to kick it 50 yards in the air?
We'll just watch it again. He was miles offside. Okinabre, actually. It wasn't Omar Bogle. It was...
Was it the new guy?
It was well, not the new guy. The guy who's just come onto the pitch, yeah. Anyway, we're over halfway... We're over half an hour through, this first half. Thank you for joining us live on Fournilwrittenalloverit. Myself and Andrew guiding you through proceedings this evening as Geordie, I keep calling him Geordie Hawula. Manoga has managed to find a pass down the near touchline, but that one just trickled out of play, and that will be a Reece James throw-in that he will take. Goal scorer so far this evening, only one. Came in the opening 10, 11 minutes or so. That is the only goal at the moment. Doncaster Rovers 1, Pompey 0, as you can see between myself and Andrew on your screen. And there is the forward ball from Doncaster Rovers out from the back, and Sean Raggett has a lot of time to find the Pompey captain, Tom Naylor. It's a cross ball over in the direction
of Rasmus Nikolaisen, and this is Ronan Curtis who finds Harvey White. Back to Nikolaisen. Now Charlie Daniels on that left wing for Pompey, working his way over halfway. Stops, opts to go back to Nikolaisen. 35 minutes is almost on the clock. Harvey White now looking to make something positive happen for Pompey. And he's found the pass through to Harrison. And there is Louis James now for Doncaster Rovers. He put under a little bit of pressure to take the goal kick from Ellis Harrison. He's managed to find a red and white shirt nonetheless.
Oh, look at it.
Tom Anderson back to his keeper.
He's taking a
Again, Harrison is hopelessly charging one down.
Tom, this is a lesson in football. A lesson in
For
football.
Pompey.
Yeah, it's a lesson. Look at it. Look at the space he's got. And watch what he does with it.
Omar Bogle has gone down and he's won a free kick. That's what he's going to do with
in
it.
Front of him. Off we go. Quick free kick. He's going to turn him.
Brad Halliday now. It's
Look
a
at the
through
passing,
ball.
Tom.
It's Omar Bogle with the ball at his feet on this far side. It's a long distance range shot from John Bostock. And that needed saving from Craig McGilvery.
It's a good inventive shot for Tom.
Was inventive. It was probably
You don't
40
think
yards
went,
out.
He's off his line. He's going, look, he would have gone to the
I
bottom
don't think
corner.
it challenged Craig McGilvery too much
Craig
there.
was stood in the middle of his goal and he saw the space in the bottom corner and he took a strike at it.
Shrewsbury Town are taking the lead against AFC Wimbledon. That is the first goal of the evening there. 36 minutes almost on the clock. This game between Doncaster Rovers and our beloved Pompey. I say that with a hint of sarcasm right now as the performance is not the best. It's Harry Chapman who's on the score sheet for the Shrews, getting back to winning ways for them. Joe Wright, centre-back for Doncaster Rovers, eventually makes his way back to Louis James. James or Jones? It's my terrible handwriting. I will just confirm whether it's James or Jones for you, because that's going to be a bit of a... Jones. There we go. Gillingham kicked off early this evening. They've now made it 3-2 to Milton Keynes. 3-2 to the home side. 37 minutes. Ball thread through. Oh, and it's almost accidental that Haji Minogue managed to get that one away from Reece James. And here's James Coppinger on this left-hand side. He fires one into the box, and it'll be a good, strong header on the ball from Charlie Daniels. Ronan Curtis back to Charlie Daniels, who won the initial header, and that one's up with Ellis Harrison. Here's Marcus Harness's opportunity to head things down for Ronan Curtis.
Who steps on the ball?
He does step on the ball and he's fallen over. And now Pompey are a little bit wide open in order for Doncaster Rovers to penetrate, and white shirts need to get back a little bit quickly here. John Bostock finds himself in a similar position to his shooting opportunity earlier on. Opts to go for James Coppinger this time. There is Okinabre on the far side, and Rasmus Nikolaisen is going to take his time to whack one up the Keepmoat, looking for Harness. There's Jack Watmore. And again, it's Harness who's solemnly chasing that one against a tall, lanky Tom Anderson. And there's only going to be one winner there, unfortunately. What have you made of 37, nearly 38 minutes now, Andrew?
As I predicted earlier, Tom, they're playing the football. We're just hoof and hoping, and I say that with, it's disheartening, isn't it? Look at them just passing it ball through us like there's no one there. Look at it.
There's Reece James's ball to Omar Bogle, working his way down this left-hand side. Sean Raggett is there with him.
Oh, don't worry, Raggett's there.
He's almost got past him there, actually, Omar Bogle. This is Sean Raggett, who's popped one into touch. And that'll be a Doncaster Rovers throw-in. Down by the corner flag on this near side at the Keepmoat. And as I say, 38 and a half minutes has been played. Half-time substitutions, Andrew? Very much necessary in my eyes.
I don't think it matters, Tom. It doesn't matter. It's about the attitude and the, look at this ball. Look at that for a ball. It's fantastic, isn't it? Where's it gone?
It was Ellis Harrison's to claim. And oh my word.
Tom,
did you see that from Sean Raggett? He's let it hit the back of his head.
The last 40-yard ball you saw Doncaster play?
here's Charlie Daniels on the far side, for Pompey. Brings it back beyond halfway for Harvey White. This is the Pompey captain, Tom Naylor. Ginger Ninja plays it to a fellow ninja of the ginger in Harvey White. And here's Rasmus Nikolaisen, who was playing Champions League football last season. He's now a cold,
But he's pleased he came here.
early March night in Doncaster in South Yorkshire. The weather probably mirrors what he's used to, but apart from that, that's about it. Here is Matthew Smith now, the Welshman, working his way towards halfway for Doncaster Rovers. 5 minutes plus whatever is added on at the end of this first half. Again, the ball's back to Matthew Smith. Marcus Harness is not doing an awful lot to win it back, and Doncaster Rovers have it in possession midway inside their own territory.
Get up to him. Why are we not pressuring the back four? If we got the ball in our half, they're all over us like a rash. God, Jesus Christ, man. Pressure him. Get on him.
This is Brad Halliday now.
Oh, Tom, I'm just sort of... Oh.
Ipswich Town have equalised against Accrington Stanley. It is Accrington Stanley. Who are they? 1. Ipswich Town 1. There's Omar Bogle, who's netted 3 times in his period at Doncaster Rovers so far. And this is Reece James, who was the goal scorer just
Give him space.
half an hour ago.
Give him space to pass it. That's what you do. Look, get into him.
Brad Halliday.
Oh, excuse my French, Tom, but I am getting so frustrated.
I can tell.
Not
Please,
a single tackle being taken. Not a single tackle being made.
please try and compose yourself.
Until we get the loose ball. And then watch this.
Jack Watmore fires one long for Pompey. He's in the direction
That's a
of
great
Ellis
ball.
Harrison. And your
ball.
point's just been proven there.
Look at them playing it out. When was the last time you see them play a 40-yard ball? Look at it. They're walking through. Look, he's going to walk straight through there.
Brad
Who's
Halliday
interested?
now.
Oh, there's his 20-yard ball. But they still win it. Win it back.
There's levels to this game, and Doncaster are very much on the upper one,
Mate,
when compared to
what did you
Pompey
say?
right
They've lost
now.
the last 4 games?
Yeah, they've lost 4 of the last 5, yeah. And their solemn draw came, I believe it was against Swindon, perhaps. It might have been someone else. Andrew does show passion. I am passionate myself as well. But I'm doing my best to describe this one to you as I see it. You get it at face value here on Fournilwrittenalloverit, and the reactions are for my colleague to my left, not myself. And here's Ronan Curtis now for Pompey, who's been beaten to it, would you believe, by by the partnership of the centre-backs for Donny. And this is John Bostock, who's managed to find his right-back, Brad Halliday. He's done a lot of good work down that right-hand side for the home side this evening. This is Tom Anderson, who plays a wayward pass, and Tom Naylor will eventually pick it up. And this is Jack Watmore, who, again, it's rinse and repeat for Pompey, giving the ball back to them on halfway and letting the Doncaster onslaught begin once again. As Barley has quite rightly said, it was Easter Monday 2019, which was the last time Pompey have come back from a losing position, particularly 1-0 down. And Sean Hamilton, retro shirt Sean, shows how much we miss Cannon this game, what he's seen so far. Andrew?
I'm speechless, Tom. I'm just bitterly disappointed that we allow this to continue at the board level of this freaking football club. Look at it. They're just passing it around. They're having great fun out there, enjoying their football tonight, Doncaster. And we're just chasing shadows. And that's the only tackle I've seen, which was Harness. And what's he doing back there tackling?
Tom Naylor's under pressure.
He's lost it.
And Okanabre's won it back. He's got past Jack Watmore. And that one's actually Harvey White's to get away. And Harness will actually find quite a neat little pass over to Charlie Daniels.
Straight across his goal, though, wasn't it?
There's across his goal, but it still worked out, didn't it?
Just about, mate.
Just about. You've got to take the little things at the moment.
I'll say this is Portsmouth Football Club away at Doncaster Rovers, who have lost the last 4 games.
Absolutely.
It's embarrassing, Mush.
Ellis Harrison heads the ball on to Marcus Harness. who's on the edge of the D. He's got options, but he chooses to go alone, and that will be Reece James, who fires behind for a corner for Pompey.
He couldn't pass to Haji there because he's got run offside.
Well, I'm not sure. It's actually the first header I've seen Ellis Harrison won so far this evening, and I believe
Haji, look, he's offside.
He's miles off, unfortunately. Haji Manoga in the end.
Pass to him if he's offside. Get back on side. Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
Right, we are now just a couple of minutes from the halftime whistle. Probably an opportunity for Pompey to regroup. There will be 3 added minutes at the end of this one. In comes the corner. Ellis Harrison gets his head on it, and that is probably Pompey's first effort on goal in about half an hour.
No, he headed it to the goalkeeper.
Well, okay. Read of that what you will. But here comes John Bostock. Doncaster Rovers have been incredibly quick to get this one back into an attacking position for them. There's Matthew Smith, who finds Bostock, who's looking for that yard to shoot. That one will be taken away from him from Ronan Curtis. Referee opts to play on. He's almost walking the ball up the pitch, Ronan Curtis. Haji Manoga is doing his best to get up there with him. And thank the Lord.
Thank you, mate.
Nice Pompey shirt, Buzz. Yeah. It's not
all the fruits here.
The fruits here. There we go. There was a happy Pompey fan who's not watching the game this evening that just joined us for a brief moment. Here's Haji Manoga, who's actually been absolutely clattered out of it, and you would have thought that will be, it'll be
nothing.
Well, it won't be anything. I would have thought he might have got a free kick for that, but you've got to hold on to the little things in life. It's going to be a bit of treatment that Haji Manoga receives. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you all along to the stream on this clear Tuesday evening. Fortunately, it's been a rather muddy performance from Pompey so far.
That's all right. Kenny's got his hands out of his pocket. He's doing the instruction. Look from the touchline.
Minute and a half of the 3 minutes has been played here at the Keepmoat Stadium. Kenny Jackett just doing his best to encourage his players.
You clap the players. Well done.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in the away dressing room at the Keepmoat in about a minute and a half's time and hear what's being said. All or nothing, Portsmouth City. Would probably not even make a series, to be honest. I don't think the Amazon people would even give us that. We'd probably get about 10 minutes of an episode out of it. Yeah. Biley wants you to be the chairman, given your words this evening so far. I think a lot of people agree with that. You speak your mind, which is good. Ellis Harrison now working his way down the left-hand side, looking to get a ball across. This almost mirrors an early opportunity Pompey had in the opening sort of 20 seconds with Ronan Curtis.
That's all we've done, Tom.
It will be Marcus Harness, actually, who got the header away, and that one will be behind for a corner. 2.5 of the 3 minutes played now, and for some reason iFollow are showing us highlights of this one. It was actually more of a Tom Anderson defensive work than it was anything to do with Marcus Harness's attacking etiquette there. And that one, again, will just go slightly wide of the post, and I believe it will be... it's actually caught in an offside position there, Ellis Harrison. Doesn't matter anyway, mate. She's got no win in the ball, so there's no point in protesting.
You're onside or offside, it don't matter, does it? You freaking missed the header.
If that had gone in, there's a case, isn't there? But
you missed the ball.
But he did miss it completely. Watched it go over his head. We'll see if he was offside or not, Ellis Harrison. Here it comes. Ball play. Yes, he is very much offside, Ellis Harrison. There cannot be any argument for his case.
So what did he do? Did he see the flag go up and then decide not to head the ball?
No, because he's protesting that it wasn't offside, but he was. He was a yard and a half too early.
Even so, he didn't get anywhere near the ball.
Anyway,
so it don't matter, does it?
Let's stop criticising individuals, because that's not what we're here for, is it? We're here to provide
to criticise individuals. I'm here
a service.
Make a critique on how badly we play football comparably to the opposition watching tonight.
There's Ellis Harrison, who's actually won a ball. This is the second time. That literally is the second time I've seen Ellis Harrison win the ball so far this evening. And there goes the halftime whistle at the Keepmoat. And I tell you what, they should be on the furlough, the stewards that go and walk up to the referee to bring him off the pitch.
I'll tell you what, mate. You just see it by the attitude of the players. Look at their demeanour. That they're just
not very happy.
They're going to go in for an inspirational half-time team talk now from Kenny.
Well, speaking of inspirational half-time tea talks, let's speak to tea talks. I think we all deserve a cup of tea. Let's speak to Richard. Richard, I'm going to indulge myself in a jammy dodger or two. You're through to Andrew. What did you make of that?
Shocking, absolute shocking. I said, first 10 minutes will be the watch up how the game will be, and I say they scored in 11 minutes and this looks lackluster. They don't want to be there. Nothing. Well, I thought there might have been a little bit of inspiration up front. I think they seem to, with this 3-4 that they've got, the back of the midfield, sort of Daniels doesn't really know whether he's sort of midfield, whether he wants to play left back. Because he sort of comes into the back four. We seem to get a bit of a little bit of stability, but he soon moves back up into midfield. And I say, they're just cutting through us all the time, so it's very poor, very poor. And I think the attitude of them was shown when Nick Eliasson, probably about 10, 15 minutes before the half time, when the ball came, he sort of just looked at the ball, come down, did a big bounce on the edge of the box, and he just hoofed it, as high as he could, as far away. And it's just like, well, it's back to Pompey hoofball, isn't it? There's no skill. Every time somebody's got the ball at the back, it's going to go 40 yards up the field, and most of the time it doesn't go to anybody.
Yeah, it is a case of rinse and repeat, isn't it? And that's been the story of the first half. What needs to change for you, Richard?
I think formation needs to go to 4-4-2. I think Cannon's got to come on. Byers has got to come on. I think keep the three that we've got at the back. Bring Byers on, and say just get Daniels into the left back position. But I was quite strange that Watmore was doing quite a lot of the throw-ins. I know he's playing on the right, but Minogue, when he played the other day, he seemed to have a lot more of a longer throw, more powerful direct throw. Is where when Watmore was throwing him in when we were over, by their area, it just seems to go to the same person all the time. There's no sort of any variation. So I think he's changed formation, a couple of people on, and go. And so we go. I did chuckle at Owen messaged me, probably about 20 minutes into the game. He sent his views, obviously, which can't be put live on YouTube.
Cannot be broadcast, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's it. And it's just like, but and like everybody on the on the comments is exactly the same, isn't it? It's the same old Pompey.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sat next to a gentleman who would rather like to speak his mind, but I hope he refrains from doing so. Exactly what is on his mind. We'll leave that down to some of our colleagues that are ready and waiting to go. Richard, hopefully something works itself out in the next second half of football. Where do you see this one going in terms of your full-time score prediction?
3-1 Doncaster.
Well, there we go. And unfortunately, I'm not going to disagree with you, Richard. So, yeah, that's the state of play at the moment.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Andrew makes me chuckle. He reminds me of my dad, where he gets quite thin. He knows what they should be doing when they're not doing it. He sort of how Andrew is about it all. It just makes me laugh about my dad, really. So it's funny.
Well, the thing is, somebody mentioned passion, and that's what all Pompey fans have got. Tom's trying to stay a bit neutral. He'll be raging after the game, but for the moment, he's trying to stay neutral because he's promoting himself in the channel and the media and doing it at a professional level. Whereas I'm getting. We
also have got a bit of a relationship with the football club to maintain at the same time, so that's in the back of my mind a little bit as well while we do the commentary.
But I could say what I like. I do know Mark Catlin very well, and I could send him an email tomorrow and say, Mark, sort it out. But I've refrained from doing it all season and the whole of last season because he's got to work it out himself. They've got to work it out themselves. We cannot carry on watching this. It's they were just passing the ball through us like slicing straight through us. Nobody's closing them down, giving them plenty of time on the ball. When we get the ball, as you alluded to, is a 40-yard pass up to who? Harness, who's losing it to three of their defenders. It's shocking. It's schoolboy stuff, isn't it?
Somebody made the comment, one of the about Ipswich, they get rid of Lambert, that's it, get Cook straight in. They're not bothered where they are, how it is with, how long we got left of the season. If we've got 15 games, right, let's change it. Obviously we know
And what'll happen? And what'll happen? And I've had a tenner with someone in the office today. They'll get promoted. Ipswich will be promoted now, and I'll give you that right now. Ipswich will be promoted.
As we're speaking, James Norwood has actually put them in front. It is now 2-1 at half-time to Ipswich Town for their game against Accrington. So they are climbing up the league rather quickly, and that's now looking like it's going to be through on the bounce for them in terms of wins. Richard, we will speak to you at full time, mate. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for refraining to sharing your comments of your son on the stream. I really do appreciate that. And hopefully, I'd like to remind everyone. I know they're not the type to do so, but when we come to you, please do mind your language and don't say anything that you will later go on to regret in court. As Sean, I'm sure, is not the man to do that for us. Yeah, we spoke about formation before the game, didn't we? I mentioned during commentary that I thought that was being completely ignored, the way that they set up to begin with, and then it just sort of went all at sea, didn't it? I wonder what you made of it.
I don't know if that was Jackett's game plan. I hope not, because the players just didn't seem to know what position to play. It was almost too intelligent for them. They just couldn't cope with it. They looked out of sorts. But Doncaster, credit where credit's due. They played us off the park. The passing, the appetite, the fact that they seem to be pressing our back 4-5 all the time, outnumbering them, but also outnumbering our attackers as well. Both ends, up and down that pitch. I'd love to see the work rate difference between the two sets of players. Our players weren't even making tackles. They were just watching them walk by. It was, it may have been the formation. I don't know. Maybe we're missing Cannon in the engine room. It just seems a very lackluster, like I said, impotent affair. There was nothing there.
I did try to put your comment that you said in the chat regarding Andy Cannon to Andrew, but he was in a state of rage at the time. So sorry if we didn't comment too much on that. But this is the chance to set the record straight about the absence of Andy Cannon, and how much do you feel that is having an impact on tonight's game, Sean?
I think in the first half of the season he really stepped up, and I think Andrew mentioned it as well. And everything that we did came through him in the middle of the park. And without him, Naylor's good at the defending aspect, but it was all Cannon going forward. And without him, we haven't got that push through the middle. I think they want young Harvey to do that, but he's not quite there. Some of his passes sideways have been a bit wayward. He's good, and he's obviously got an eye for goal, and he's got obviously the footballing brain, but he just probably hasn't got the experience yet. Whereas I think Cannon's a bit more reliable game in, game out.
Absolutely. How do you see the second half going, Sean? There's a big old turnaround needed, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm still sticking with my prediction. 2-0 Doncaster.
Anyway, in other news, how are the Dodgers coming along? How many have you had? Probably about 20. I would have.
Team's going down.
It's going down and I think as more goals go in the Pompey net, that level is going to get lower and lower.
I sent you a photo on your Instagram with Andrew in the team.
Oh.
That was my son on the intercom.
Oh, crikey. Is he watching the stream?
He'll be watching it in the house. I'm outside in the man space, and there's a camera here, so they can chat to me and call me in for dinner.
Okay, well, we'll let you go and have your dinner, Sean. And what was that? Was that a 4-0 written all over it? Did I hear?
Yeah, it was.
Wonderful. Right, Sean, we'll speak to you very shortly, mate. Thanks for that.
Okay.
Just out of interest, Tom. John Marcus earns £5,100 a week, right? Just out of interest. Let me just say this. £5,100 a week.
What's your source?
Nicola Ison.
Please don't quote random figures.
Nicola Ison earns £700 a week, and Haji Minogi £679. And then
that's all rather interesting. We have got guests to talk to.
I'm just saying.
Brendan, Mike, good evening to you both. Thanks for joining us. Can I ask, just throwing one in there, you might completely bat this one away, but is the fact that we've played Saturday, Tuesday since before I can remember having an adverse impact on proceedings tonight, perhaps?
Possibly, but everyone's doing the same. So I think everyone would be topsy-turvy if that was the case, I think, Tom, personally.
It's been a bit like that anyway, hasn't it, really? For most teams, it's been topsy-turvy.
Yeah, possibly.
What did you think about the first half you've just witnessed, Mike?
Right.
Oh, here we go.
Right. I've made some notes. Basically, as me and Andrew have always said, why are we not playing out of the back? Doncaster are playing superbly coming out the back from their goalkeeper. We've only done it once, and that was when Craig McGilvery threw the ball. I think it was out to Charlie Daniels on the left-hand side and proceeded down the left. It's all right, it didn't go much further, but that's the only time we've not kicked it out, lumped it up, or whatever. So I want to see us playing it more out from the back, keeping possession, players getting into space because they're doing it. They're doing it superbly. We've always said that we should be doing this, but I don't know why. Why does Jackett wanting to lump the ball? He's lumped it 4 times, and it always came back. It's not. This isn't football that we know. We like to play football, Pompey, but we're not doing it.
Frustrating, isn't it?
Very frustrating, very frustrating, and I don't understand it. Why? We've got the players who can play football because they're not man mountains heading the ball on or winning the big battle in the midfield, except for Naylor or Ancannon when he is playing. But we're just devoid of ideas at times to try and get the ball coming out from the back.
Because they're a much better footballing side than us and a better setup, and they understand the game better. And we got a Scooby-Doo out there.
Yeah, we used to be like that. We used to play football like that, didn't we? But it just seems under Jackett. Well, we're not doing that. We should be doing it because that's the way. That's in our heart of Pompey supporters and players. Should be playing football. That's what we're known for.
Brendan, can I ask, are you avidly searching for a new Pompey manager on Wikipedia, or are you busy working?
Oh, I'm working, but it's all right. I'm nearly finished anyway. I finished 2 minutes ago, but at the end of the shift, everyone wants to talk to you, and it's just like, come on, I've got a Pompey game to watch,
Well, to be honest, mate, I'd probably rather be working right now because it'd be much more exciting than the spectacle that we're having the misfortune of having to watch. Mike, I can tell by the look on your face that you're not happy. Do you feel like, should tonight not go our way, that's it in terms of any opportunity of Championship football come August?
I think after the last game where that I said it then, I don't think we're going to even make the playoffs, the way we're going, unless something drastic happens and everybody pulls their socks up and we play the football that we know we can. I think, again, it's they don't want us to go up. I really don't think they want us to go up. In this year of COVID, with losing loads of money, whatever it is a week this year, I just don't think that the owners want us to achieve promotion into the Championship because we haven't got the ground really, as I said, to really support and get the money in to keep us sustained in the Championship. They're not even building the Milton end, and I know Catlin keeps going on about partners. So there is most probably some truth in it. I just don't think we're ready to go up anyway.
Nah, the brightest we looked was in that first 18 seconds when we whacked it in the box, and then since then it's just sort of fizzled out really. And I think Curtis hasn't been his best today. No. He's been very heavy touching, and we were breaking away, and he trod on the ball and fell over. And
Harness has not been particularly brilliant. This trip either.
I know Richard was saying about the Minogue taking long throw-ins. I think that's right. Either him or Jack taking it. Maybe Minogue could take the throw-in and Jack get in the middle. But taking the throw-in's not the problem. It's getting some blue or some white shirt on the end of it, and getting the flick on or even putting it in the net,
Gents, hopefully
you chaps enjoying the football tonight?
Well, we're playing. That's the only bits. That's the only thing about it that's probably enjoyable. The fact that it's Pompey, but in performance-wise, it hasn't been great. We were cut open by one through ball. I think either Hadji or Jack didn't follow their runner, and then he's put it past Big Mac.
I think he's got to make a couple of decent changes.
Like two changes.
Yeah, we'll confirm those for you in just a moment. Yes, it's Andy Cannon coming on and John Marquis as well, who will be making his way onto the pitch.
Replacing who?
Gents,
Who's Marcus replacing?
well, I will have to tell you that in a second. You've caught me off guard. Cannon and Marquis, we're going to have to wait and see who doesn't emerge from the changing room, gents. I'll be honest with you. The number's about to go up for Andy Cannon, so I will confirm it now. It is Ronan. Who plays number 11, Brendan? Ronan Curtis.
Yeah.
Ronan Curtis has come off for Andy Cannon, so I think that's what Retro Shirt Sean was calling for, wasn't it? Interestingly, the Pompey team are out way before the Doncaster side are. They have now emerged as well. Gents, I'm so sorry to cut you off. We've got 2 more gentlemen to speak to before the second half gets carried on. So we will do that right now. Thank you for the moment, gents. And Aaron is up and ready to go. Hello, mate. Very, very quickly. Sorry. It's been really quick all night for you, hasn't it? But we'll speak on into the rest of the second half. That's not a problem because I don't think there'll be immediate Pompey impact. But your immediate reaction to the changes, obviously, it's Ronan Curtis that hasn't emerged from the changing room, sorry, and Haji Minoga as well, who hasn't had the best of games so far, has he?
No, not really. Needed the changes, definitely, but we were shocking, absolute shocking. So the substitutes definitely needed. We have got to come out now. If we want to, I still think if we can get result here tonight, it's very, very on 50-50 at the moment. But we need to come out within the first 10 minutes. We need to score a goal. And they need Marquis to step up tonight now. So I suggest
you're only 50-50. It's half time.
Well, I'm still shocked and stunned from the first half. It's like,
sorry, I'm not quite sure what he was talking about there.
I reckon it's going to be 3-2 to Pompey, and Marquis is going to get a hat trick.
We're in for a big second half in that case.
Yeah,
you do need
massive second half.
There's got to be some pills you can take or something. Just there's got to be some pills you can take to calm you down.
Well, it's each week you go on social media and you listen to all the players saying, "Oh, we got to do this, we got to do that," and I'm sick and tired of them failing to do what they actually preach. So they've got to step up now. If we do not win tonight, then we can. Like at the moment, Ipswich are only 2 points behind us in the league, and they're in 7th. And all they've got to do is win their game.
I can't believe that.
Yeah,
Aaron, they seem like they were very much in the rearview mirror for an awful long time of the season, and now things are just sort of starting to go a little bit like that, and it's not good to see. Mate, we'll have plenty of time to discuss at full time, and you'll be able to give us your full. Well, we can digest the full synopsis of this story, and I'm liking that the headphones are still on.
Score. 3-2 final score.
Adam, are you as sorry, mate? Go on. 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2, and I'll speak to you later.
Cheers, mate.
Mate, I wish I had your positivity. Adam, are you as positive, mate? I don't think you are. You're smiling, but I think that's where it ends.
You know what? I'm going to refer it. I'm going to say it's like the year 7s playing the year 11s. How it's playing. Yeah, honestly, we're just getting
lunchtime.
We're just getting absolutely shown up here, to be honest. And it's great football by Doncaster. They're absolutely dictating the play. I mean, we have too many defenders on. Too many. It's just too confusing. I mean, Haji Minoga, he's come off now, but he was playing like right wing, basically. Like, that's the positions that, Williams or Harness should be in, not Haji Minoga, in my opinion. But yeah, hopefully more creativity in this half.
Does it surprise you, Adam, that Pompey have now slipped to 5th?
No, not really. Not really. There's some great teams around us, and I think they deserve it much more than we do. I mean, we don't score. Our attackers don't score, and that's what we deserve. That's it. We don't score.
Attackers that don't score is not a good. It's not a good. It's not a good recipe. It's a recipe for disaster.
Our midfielders don't midfield.
No, that's very true.
And we don't our defenders attack, and our attackers defend. It's a bit confusing sometimes, isn't it?
That's about right.
Well, it's confusing to watch. You can't imagine what it's like to play either, can you? I'm hoping that Andy Cannon can be a bit of a bright spark.
Cannon Marquis, isn't it?
And
Yes.
yeah, exactly. So, two of the players that a couple of weeks ago you would have thought were bang on, ready to start every single game, and Harvey White is just giving it away massively to the experienced head of James.
I imagine it's a 4-4-2. 4-4-2 now, isn't it?
Your full-time score prediction. Oh, there's a good result. Well, not result. It's a good scoreline. Lincoln City 0, Fleetwood Town 2 is now the score at Lincoln City's ground. So
they lost the other day.
But it's like, we're nowhere near that anymore, are we?
Yeah. I mean, my full-time prediction, I want to say 1-1, but it's not. I think it's 2-1 to Doncaster. I really do. At this rate.
You think we'll score?
I mean, Marquis has a point to prove, I guess. That's my only hope, I think, against his former club.
We're going to get the ball to him, though, haven't we?
We just have there, actually. And this is now an opportunity that Harvey White is taking it over halfway. And that's a brilliantly picked out pass from...
Well, Tom, I've got to have the rest of my dinner now. So I will catch you at full time, okay?
Hopefully, enjoy your dinner. We'll be discussing the 3 points. Cheers, Adam. Right, well, let's get back to your second half commentary. And as I said there, it's a really, really decent ball from the Tottenham loanee. It's actually Callum Camps that scored the second for Fleetwood at Lincoln City tonight. And as I just alluded to there while we were speaking to Adam, mate, that doesn't matter anymore because Pompey are miles from even having to think about that game. No question unanswered. A bit like Boris Johnson, you are.
We've come out in the first 5 minutes of the second half, Tom, playing exactly the way we played in the last 45 minutes. It's just woeful, isn't it?
We were sort of glancing at it, weren't we, in terms of being able to speaking to our halftime guests, and we've looked like we started a little bit brighter. Automatically, I saw that chance there. Andy Cannon was tying up with John Marquis and Harvey White put a decent ball through.
The balls through to each other.
Again, I just refer you back to what Adam was saying, but there are levels in this game, aren't there? You can clearly see. Cannot, that's one pass. Charlie Daniels makes the second. This is Andy Cannon now, who makes the third. Then it's Raggett, who will probably lump it. No, he won't.
No, he
He'll opt to find Marcus Harness. Sorry, I shouldn't be second guessing what we're doing. But that is probably a string of about 10 passes now that Pompey have managed to put together. And here is Cannon dropping back a little bit now. And oh my word, Raggett was under all sorts of pressure there from Josh Sims, who unfortunately used to play for our not so friendly neighbours down the road. But the less said about that, the better. That is a free kick that Ellis Harrison has conceded for Pompey. And here they go again. This is Okenabre now working his way down the right-hand side. He's managed to find Brad Halliday. And there's a shot that's deflected off the back of Sean Raggett. Andy Cannon will pick up possession on the edge of the box. Harvey White's in there as well. Plays a clever little pass to Charlie Daniels, who links back up with him. Nice 1-2 play on the move. Harvey White avoids the referee and manages to find Marcus Harness.
Who's over that side?
There is someone on the overlap in the shape of Jack Watmore, who is way too far forward for my liking. And the referee manages to once again get out the way of the ball. Here's Andy Cannon. Plays one out to this left-hand side where Charlie Daniels is laying in wait. The ball goes back in. Okenabre. It's a touchdown.
He's done well.
He's done really well. But he's only found Andy Cannon 30 yards from goal. Plays in Harvey White, who was expecting it the least. Ellis Harrison perhaps on the spin. Edge of the D. Harvey White lets one fly and it's over the crossbar. Only slightly. It wasn't a bad effort on goal from the youngster. And that's probably the best Pompey movement that we've seen since 7 o'clock this evening, Andrew.
Yes, Tom.
Your title for this evening is co-commentator. I would appreciate it if you sat there and spoke rather than give me a yes.
I've said enough, Tom, really.
No, speak on what you see, not how you feel. That's what I've learned over the last couple of months.
I get emotional about it because...
Here comes Johnny Marquis now. Back on his old stomping ground. Goes to Andy Cannon.
Where's he going with it? There's nobody knowing what he's going to do with it. including himself.
Playing himself out of position, really. Here's Marcus Harness, who's breaking down through the defence, and that one will eventually be hacked away from Doncaster Rovers, and it's up the pitch now, and Okinabre and the referee is more than certain going to blow up for a foul there. That one's one for Doncaster Rovers, courtesy of Rasmus Nicolaison's clumsiness.
They had to stop him, didn't
Yeah. Really? That desperate? On halfway?
Yeah.
At the moment?
Yep.
Here's
That's where Gillingham scored from.
Brad Halliday for Doncaster Rovers.
Look at the movement and the passing, Tom, comparably to what we're doing.
Here's Tom Anderson on that far side, sorry. It's a cross ball over the pitch, almost completely diagonal for Brad Halliday to work his magic on, perhaps. Cuts inside, looking for the space to shoot, but he opts to find it was Matthew Smith on the edge of the box who fired one, and that clattered into Sean Maggott's two standing legs, and that one will be a free kick for Pompey.
He was turning his back at the time.
He was on the move. He was on the move. Huey said Cannon is too good for this team. Not many players worthy of the shirt, but he is definitely one of them, and that resonates with you, I'm sure, Andrew, in terms of the quality that you feel that Andy Cannon
Thomas
has.
said earlier, we've got the quality of players, mate. We have got the quality.
Ronan Curtis, John Marquis nods it down. He's Ronan Curtis's replacement.
The organisation.
Here comes Jack Watmore. Ball goes into the box, and it's Marquis's to get on the end of, and that was a really decent opportunity from the ex-Doncaster man who's managed to navigate the majority of his professional career playing for the opposition tonight. And Jack Watmore with a really enticing ball across, and it was John Marquis who's claiming that he was being pulled back a little bit. And a decent opportunity there. 55 minutes on the clock now. John Bostock's won another header. And here come Doncaster again. Okinabre, who's the ever-present down this right-hand side for the home side. Ball goes through. Andy Cannon manages to pick it up. There's Rasmus Nicolaisen. Nice triangle, including Charlie Daniels there. And Harvey White has been dispossessed, but that will be a Pompey throw-in. And Manchester United have taken the lead against Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Premier League this evening. That is the first goal of the evening in that game. Back here at the Keepmoat, Andy Cannon plays a little 1-2 with Charlie Daniels again. There's Harvey White involved in the subsequent triangle. And now is with Sean Maggot. And Jack Watmore plays a really positive pass up to Marcus Harness, who can get it between the legs of Reece James. Fires one into the box, and there's no one underneath that one. And Harvey White is the nearest to it. It's an own goal from Den Donker, actually, who's put Manchester City ahead. And here's Harvey White now. City.
You said Man United earlier.
I didn't mean to. Man City Wolves. Sorry. Own goal from Den Donker. And that is a free kick that's been conceded by John Bostock, who's been a real problem for Pompey to deal with. And it will be Charlie Daniels who will take this one. And it's just a simple push on Andy Cannon. It definitely feels like Pompey have started in a much better way
I'd hammer that ball straight through there, low level, along the grass.
Let's see what he does. It will perhaps be left-footed. Charlie Daniels, here it comes, and it's not a bad delivery. And Rasmus Nicolaisen gets his head on it, and Marquis has sort of dragged it over the touchline. And that one will more than definitely be a foul on the keeper. And that will be... Yeah, we weren't getting too excited about that one, were we? But at least the ball's crossed the line tonight. We're getting closer. You can't argue with it. We're playing much better football in this second half now.
Much better?
We're playing much better football for me. Andrew?
No, we're not, Tom.
I disagree. Rasmus Nicolaisen is he's arguably committed a foul there on Omar Bogle. We are definitely playing better football.
It couldn't be any worse than that, could it, earlier?
No,
I'm eating another jammy dodger.
You're eating another jammy dodger?
Depressed. I'm eating another jammy dodger.
Thank you. Retro shirt Sean. Pompey playing better formation attitude. Cannon making his presence felt. Thank you. Not on my own. I don't know which game you're watching, son, but I'm feeling a lot more positive about this second half performance. Albeit, it's had to be better. And as Andrew said, you couldn't get much worse, could you?
than what we saw in the first half. Here comes the in-swinger from James Coppinger. Recently turned 40 years of age. The ball's back out with him on this right-hand side. He puts a cross in. Very youthful as he does so, and Craig McGilvery will come and claim that one well after a little bit of pressure that Jack Watmore initially dealt with rather well. And here is Jack Watmore once again, who's had the ball redistributed to him from the Pompey keeper, Craig McGilvery. Tom Naylor opts to play the ball. It's a dangerous one. And if Omar Bogle was a couple of paces ahead of play there, he might have been able to get a snatch on it. Charlie Daniels has found Harvey White, edge of the box, cuts it back, and that one's just met a forest of Doncaster Rovers legs and therefore doesn't make its way to, I believe it was Ellis Harrison who was waiting for it on the penalty spot. But here come Pompey again. Charlie Daniels with the ball in early, and that one's headed away as far as James Coppinger. Gets another prospect. Charlie Daniels now. A ball down the left-hand side. Won't quite reach John Marquis. And there is time to be taken on the ball, and Rasmus Nikolaisen and Andy Cannon's done incredibly well to win that one. And here's Marcus Harness, who's got a man to beat, and he gets the ball taken away from him again. And Doncaster remain ruthless in possession. And that is a foul for Doncaster Rovers. If you're just joining us, ladies and gents, very warm welcome along to the stream. Myself and Andrew guiding you through this one. Got a big couple of weeks coming up, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're heading towards 7,000, so if you could get us there any quicker than we are at the moment, then that would be absolutely wonderful. We just ticked over into the 60th minute. If you're a Pompey fan, we're going to keep you covered for as long as we can bear it for the rest of the season and until we're back into stadiums. And then when we are back into stadiums, Fournilwrittenalloverit as it used to be, will continue, and it will be bigger and better than it's ever been before. Here is Sean Maggott, who's going to need to deal with this one from Omar Bogle. I think he has probably been caught by the offside.
Luckily,
the offside trap
Maggott
there.
had his shirt and he was pulling him back. Luckily, he was offside.
61 minutes now on the clock. It's looking more promising from Pompey now. Johnny Marquis with the header down. There's Mr. Sean Raggett, who will find Jack Watmore. Back to Raggett. Now this is Rasmus Nikolaisen.
Oh, it's all right. Raggett's got it.
He always looks like such a prancer around. Sean Raggett on the ball. Here's Charlie Daniels now. Andy Cannon plays it back to Daniels, working his way down this left-hand side. Just a couple of yards in from the touchline, and he'll win a throw-in. Taken quickly to Harvey White, who links up really well with him. Charlie Daniels,
He's a great player, Charlie
plenty
Daniels.
of options. Harvey White puts the ball in early, and Marquis is there to meet it, but so is the Doncaster Rovers centre-back. And there's Andy Cannon with the looping ball over, and Ellis Harrison did get the last touch on it, and that will be a goal kick for Doncaster Rovers that Louis Jones will have no rush in
That's
taking.
a good example of Harrison not even actually attacking the ball, Tom. That was woeful from him. He just went up and pushed the player.
I'm liking your visualizations.
I just don't,
It's not been fantastic so far tonight, ladies and gents. I'm definitely more confident than I have been so far this evening. But it's all about the next half an hour or so now for Pompey. As I say that, John Bostock has managed to keep the ball. Hello to Paul. Welcome along to the stream. Hope you're doing really well tonight. And it will be, I believe it's Josh Sims who might be coming off because of injury. I believe he probably is. And that will be a free kick. No, sorry, not a free kick. It'll be another substitution for the home side. I think they're actually making a double substitution. It's Lokilo is coming on. And he will be replacing Josh Sims. And I believe there will be a little bit of a shift in the way Doncaster Rovers set up now. Given some of the hand signals that have been made from the home side. Jack Watmore is ready and waiting for this throw-in to be taken. Not sure what on earth is going on with the camera work. Doncaster Rovers number 8, Robertson, is coming on. He will be replacing. We are all anxiously waiting to see what the fourth official's number is going to be tonight, and he will be replacing. It is the number 15,
John Bostock, who has arguably had
Played well.
one of the better performances for Doncaster Rovers this evening. Looked dangerous. I believe he's left the pitch on that far side, and the referee is very shortly going to be signalling on for play to continue.
So what's that like for like, Tom, or have they changed?
I'm not sure. I feel like the setup might be slightly tweaked somewhat from a Doncaster Rovers perspective. I would have thought that they won't have changed things too much, because why would you change something that's been working for over an hour of football now? And not Rasmus Nikolaisen, it was Omar Bogle for the attacking side, Doncaster, who was caught offside yet again.
40-yard pass I've seen them make.
Tom Naylor now. This is Sean Raggett. And here's Jack Watmore, Pompey boy through and through. Tom Naylor back to Sean Raggett on the spin. Finds Craig McGilvery and he fires long. And we'll find Ellis Harrison, who has once again failed to control it. Marcus Harness is rushing over to provide a bit of a defensive cover. This is Lokilo now. Harvey White is doing his best to read this ball, but Lokilo's managed to gather some pace and space. There's Okinabre, who will fire it out wide, and this is quick stuff from the home side. Brandon Halliday has
done him up a kipper there, hasn't he?
Done Charlie Daniels up a kipper, but now the ball is with Ellis Harrison.
Oh, that's all right then.
He's done really well there to find Harvey White. Here's Rasmus Nikolaisen now for Pompey. Plays one forward to Jack Watmore. This is positive. Attempts to bring it over halfway and finds the pass out the left-hand side. And John Marquis can only chase that one. And Tom Anderson has it under control. Here come Doncaster Rovers again. Andy Cannon's the nearest to it in a white shirt for Pompey. Over halfway now. Awful lot of space in this one. And Harvey White looks to close him down. And Sean Raggett's hand goes up. But Omar Bogle was not offside according to the assistant on this near side. This is Robertson.
Lucky it hit Raggett and bounced off.
Marcus Harness is pressurising James Coppinger, who probably didn't know he was behind him. This is Jack Watmore now. Fires one long and over the top to Ellis Harrison, who's controlled it. Down to Marquis, look to his left. Sees Harvey White in his line of sight. There's Andy Cannon, who's probably played his first slightly wayward pass of the evening. And this is Omar Bogle now, who's only really looking like he's got Rasmus Nikolaisen to beat, but the white shirts flood back into the box. Dangerous opportunity in the box for Doncaster Rovers. Charlie Daniels doing his best to hold off. And there's almost a spectacular from the 40-year-old James Coppinger. The ball is on the far side now with Okinabre. Marcus Harness doing his best to win the ball back. Andy Cannon standing up his man. Anderson. Ball challenge goes in from Cannon, and there's a turnover in possession. And John Marcus will look to rock it away. He's gone a little bit too early, and Cannon opts to play it back to Jack Watmore as his only real option. There's Tom Naylor now for Pompey. Harvey White on the spin. Finds John Marquis, who's deep inside the centre circle. Harvey White is looking to win it back, but Doncaster Rovers will come again. Tom Naylor gets the challenge in. Really well won. Marquis on the spin. He's got an awful lot of ground to make up before he returns to his usual position. Plays one outside to Jack Watmore, who almost has to chase it out to the far side now. Northampton Town have doubled their lead against Plymouth Argyle, and Lincoln City have got one back against Fleetwood Town. Hull City are now 2-0 up against Rochdale. And Sunderland have taken the lead against Swindon. All of a sudden, games are very much going against Pompey right now. This is Tom Naylor. Nearly 68 minutes on the clock now for Pompey, as they look to work their way back into this one, courtesy of some possession. Here's Andy Cannon now. Ball out to the left-hand side to Charlie Daniels. Lays it off to Harvey White. The ball goes in early, and this is an opportunity for Marquis. He meets the keeper, who doesn't get anything on the ball, and that will be a header away from Doncaster Rovers. Dangerous, dangerous ball in from the youngster from Tottenham, and that will be one of the first Pompey corners of the second half. Sean has said Marquis is dropping deeper and deeper, trying to get the defence to push up. Absolutely. It's a one-man band, really, isn't it? And it's Charlie White, who is who has got the goal on 70 minutes for Sunderland in their game at the Stadium of Light against Swindon Town. And Aaron is saying this is now a must-win game. The goal has got to come from somewhere, and Rasmus Nikolaisen is the last touch on the ball, and the referee signals for a goal kick to be taken. If you're just joining us, we're live on Fournilwrittenalloverit for you this evening. A very good evening to you all, and a very warm welcome along to the stream. Myself and Andrew guiding you through proceedings for tonight's game. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do consider doing so. We're keeping you across everything, all things Pompey for the remainder of the season. And hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing tonight. We're not enjoying watching the game, I can tell you that. Here's James Coppinger, who plays the ball over the top. Here comes Brad Halliday now, working his way across the pitch for Doncaster. There's the number 8, Richardson, I believe. Okinabre in the box. Gets past Jack Watmore and fires one in from the acutest of angles. And that one has completely stunned Craig McGilvery, but it's in the back of the net. And all of a sudden, it's 2-0 Doncaster on 70 minutes. How on earth has that one found its way in?
There's a striker, mate.
And the iFollow has completely cut out on us. And that's partly...
It's probably a good night.
Partly because I've unplugged a... Oh, God. Well, there it is. 2-0 Doncaster. Long way back now, Andrew.
What did I say earlier, Tom?
I need you to fill a bit of time now.
Yeah, okay, Tom. I can talk about it, Tom. I think the most exciting thing about the whole game tonight has been the jammy dodgers. Seriously.
Keep going.
Seriously, mate. It's woeful, and anyone can see it, can't they? Surely Mark Catlin can see this. People can see what's going on out there. Doncaster absolutely showing us how to play football first half, and then just thinking they've worked out what our changes in the first 10 minutes, and here we are, 2-0 down. Wonderful stuff. What a great night we're having.
For some reason, Kenny Jackett has taken Charlie Daniels off and put Lee Brown on.
Look, of course, it's obvious, isn't it?
Whatever the reason behind that one, I do not know. And I think my laptop's just died. I think that's the reason why we're having some issues, perhaps. I have to do some running repairs.
I'm not sure. I want to watch any more.
I'm not sure I really want to watch anymore. We've kind of inadvertently turned it off. But that's not the best of news. And I'm going to attempt to turn the iFollow coverage back on. It has run out of battery. That's why. That's probably a good time to happen, isn't it? If you're just joining us, ladies and gents, Pompey are now 2-0 down. And that is... How do you see the rest of this one going, mate?
Not our way, buddy, I'm afraid. Not our way.
Keep talking.
Tom, I don't know what to say, really, because I think I'm just probably... I'm not surprised. That's the problem. I'm not surprised. And nobody else is surprised. Are they? Realistically.
I'm not surprised in the slightest.
None of us are. And that's the problem. All Pompey fans, none of us are surprised. And I take Brandon's dad's ideal that the Yanks don't want to be promoted. I don't think it's got anything to do with the Yanks. They don't know whether they're going to be promoted or not. They're not bright enough to work that out. I think they've got enough money for the championship should they want us to be there, because otherwise, why would they have bought the club in the first place? I don't know.
Oh, good. The game's back on.
Fantastic news.
Oh, where's the camera gone? There it is. Sorry about that, everyone. Good evening, everyone, by the way. If you're just joining us, Pompey are 2-0 down. We lost the iFollow coverage for a moment there, but it's probably for the best. Yeah. There was a cross from Marcus Harness there, and Johnny Marquis couldn't quite latch on to that one at the far post. But other than that, it's been pretty dreadful. Here comes a Doncaster corner again, and
we can't keep making excuses, Tom, each week, can we? No one's enjoying watching this. That's the sadness of it all. If we were losing the game and it's getting snatched away from us, just on the odd occasion, you'd be saying, "Oh, that was unlucky," but none of it's unlucky. It's abysmal football.
Here come Doncaster again, and Craig McGilvery is quick to get out to that one. He is determined that no more goals will go in past him tonight. Rasmus Nikolaisen now. And you would have thought, Andrew, that tonight that is dead and buried now for Pompey.
Gillingham should have beat us, Tom. Don't be funny. They should have won that
Oxford should have beaten us.
Oxford should have beaten us in the last 5 minutes for sure. And we got away with those two. I say got away with those two results. What am I saying? We got away with a draw against Gillingham. It's not even a bad spell, is it? It's been shocking since Christmas.
It's a really tough one to take, isn't it?
Not really.
Well, it is, mate. Because it was looking good until a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
No. It's never looked good, has it?
It has.
We won a few games by luck. We didn't ever enjoy the football, really, did we? Let's face it. We never went there thinking, oh, we're going to win this game easily, or we've got a chance of winning this game. We go there, well, I wonder if we can nick something out of this.
75 minutes into this one. This is Marcus Harness now for Pompey. Jack Watmore fires one long, and again, it's going to get nowhere near to John Marquis. Ellis Harrison has been withdrawn from proceedings, and it is Geordie Hawula who makes his way onto the pitch for the final 15 minutes. For Doncaster, it is Richards who is making his way onto the pitch. And I would probably agree with you, Angie, but I don't think we've had a good game since that win at the Valley. Yeah, I think that was kind of the last.
Fair, they were pretty poor that night at Charlton.
Well, they've dropped right down the table since then, haven't they?
They're winning tonight, I think.
Anyway, this is now looking like a long 15 minutes for us. And this is Lee Brown on this near side for Pompey now. He's going to take a throw in with a bit of a run up in the direction of John Marquis. And I believe the referee's not going to blow up for a free kick. And this is Omar Bogle, who will take the opportunity of the possession. Richards, he's just come onto the pitch, gets one into the box. And it's just, I don't know how it's been tipped over, but it's gone behind for a corner. And things are not looking fantastic at the moment from a Pompey point of view. When I say not looking fantastic, not looking good at all. And I don't really know what to say, to be honest. I think it's going to be a long couple of weeks now. Looking at it right now. And in the moment, it's really easy to get wrapped up with your own emotions, and I know how much it means to us, and it means to everyone in the stream. But it's something that we will dissect in probably 15 minutes time once the referee's blown up after the end of any extra time that's added on. So stick with us for a full debrief from some of the boys that will jump back into the stream. Myself and Andrew will give our opinions, and here is Geordie Hawula trying to make a positive impact as he's just joined proceedings for the evening, and he finds John Marquis, who puts the ball in first time, and that one will just straight into the arms of Louis Jones, and it's relatively comfortable for him.
This is a side, Doncaster Rovers, that have lost the last 4 games.
And 4 in the last 5.
We've just drawn with Gillingham at home and just about beat Oxford. Mate, it's alarmingly poor. It's the 15 games left of the season and we're playing like this when we're in the playoff positions. It's absolutely atrocious. And I'm not pulling my punches, Tom. This is childish football. They are absolutely setting the pace.
I think it's just
Showing
definitely
they
the
play
worst
football, so
Pompey
listen-
performance of the
Well,
of
not
the
only that, mate. We're giving them too much space. They're not closing them down. We've got no idea what to do. Look. So Marcus is right back there again. He ain't going to score from there, is he?
I'm gonna say I've just said it, but I will reiterate this is one of the worst Pompey performances I've seen to date. Definitely this season. Not quite sure if it's one of the worst that we've seen for
We're chasing shadows all night, mate.
quite a few years.
Literally, we're chasing. It's like us. It looks like we're playing Manchester United. Look at them.
I tell you what, it feels like. I tell you what, it's strange how these things work. We'll get back to that in just a moment. John Marquis, opportunity on the ball. It's hardly worth describing because
he's
it was
got two players around him. They've closed him down, taking the ball off him. What are we doing? Running after him. Look, 3 players chasing after him there.
It almost mirrors a year ago to the day we played Arsenal at Fratton Park, and this almost mirrors that. Something that, but with Arsenal, you'd understand that we weren't performing.
We excused that, didn't we?
We excused it because it was Arsenal and Premier League outfit. But this
is
inexcusable, isn't it? Is what it is.
I'd like to hear what Jackett's got to say about it afterwards. He'll give them credit for being better, being quicker at the ball. We weren't at the races. We didn't know what to do. It made a difference when they made their substitutions. Yep, that's correct. And here they come again, flat out.
It's been a case of the Doncaster Rovers show tonight, hasn't it? Craig McGilvery digs out a pass, and
They're just walking it through now
from the back.
They're embarrassing us.
This is Matthew Smith for Doncaster Rovers now. 10 minutes to play until injury time kicks in, and that is Craig McGilvery to come and catch that one.
I thought it was a shot then.
Probably will go down as one. I wonder how you feel about what Anthony said. Can we just give Salford the cup and perhaps have a day off? Just to, and I would imagine he's suggesting
anyway. They probably beat us.
That we need to rest and recuperate. A bit of a half chance for Geordie Hill in the box there. Can't quite get a strike on the ball. Cross goes back in, and Marquis
backs into the guy.
Yeah, concedes a foul. Have the wheels fallen off?
We never had the wheels, mate.
Jamie said our players look like they've given up. I think the fans very much have, Jamie, if I'm honest with you. I'm not sure about the players because I can't speak on behalf of them. But it does.
I feel
it is strange.
I feel grateful that we're watching it on TV and we haven't travelled 300 miles because we would have been up there tonight watching this.
Yeah, we would have been. And I'm very, very glad we're not. And it's only it's a very, very, very short journey back home for us. Ball over the top. Craig McGilvery will come and gather. Lewis has said, surprised to hear you so negative from a Donny fan. Seemed from the outside looking in, you weren't doing too bad. Lewis, that's the thing, mate. You're from the outside looking in, and quite often you can't quite see.
Doing too bad. Are you watching the game, Rush?
No, not the game, as in before the game.
Oh.
Sorry, Lewis. He's very angry. That wasn't anything personal.
It wasn't directed at you at all. Just you can see my frustrations.
Don't unsubscribe, please.
That Doncaster Rovers are giving. We said it all night. They're giving us a lesson in football tonight. This is Portsmouth Football Club with probably, I said, some of the most technical, gifted players in this league by far individually, but we're chasing shadows. Doncaster just passing the ball, moving at pace and passing the ball to each other. They've given our fullbacks a freaking torrid time.
82 and a bit minutes has been played now on the clock. Well and truly outclassed and outplayed this evening, and it looks like it's just going to peter out into a...
And Doncaster Rovers shouldn't take this the wrong way, but we're being outclassed by Doncaster Rovers, not Leeds United.
Rasmus Dickerlyson to Harvey White now. This is Andy Cannon.
Who's wide for him? There it is.
Jack Watmore charging forward, well out of position.
He's got to get
Finds
it.
Marcus Harness. He's going to have to get back quite quickly now, Jack Watmore, but he's still
nowhere to
got
go
it.
with it, has he?
And there's Tom Naylor. Andy Cannon now for Pompey. Looks for Lee Brown on that left-hand side. Geordie Hawula. Back to Cannon. Has a strike. And that one would have been just Pompey's luck that one would have taken a deflection and gone in. And then we've got an interesting 7 minutes on our hands. But it wasn't to be. And then that one will be behind. Quite sure how close that one was, actually.
Harvey White in the back, I think. Yeah.
Hit Harvey White on the back. Yeah, it would have sort of distorted the keeper slightly. There's one opportunity.
Would have been a great goal by Harvey White if it had gone in.
Would have been a great goal, yeah. Right. 84 minutes has been played now. 6 minutes of... Yeah, he doesn't look happy. 6 minutes of regulation time to be played. We're live here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. We have been all evening. And it's been an absolute shocker from a Pompey point of view. I'm sure if you're a Doncaster fan watching this, you're having one of the best nights of the season, perhaps. I don't know if this is the way you always play. That's a foul on Rasmus Nikolaisen from Omar Bogle.
They're quick.
Look really good.
They're fast. They look very good. They pass the ball well. They close us down quickly, and they stay in their formation, and they pass the ball to each other. It's just simple stuff, isn't it? It's what we've been saying for 3 seasons. How difficult is it? Look, it's just 2 of them on a harness down the halfway line, and they take it off him. And here we go.
And it's Andy Cannon that needed to get back there in order to do defensive duties. And there's 5 minutes left in this one now of normal time, plus whatever will be added on.
Does it get worse from this corner?
No, it doesn't, which is probably the only good thing. It doesn't get worse yet. That's all I would say. Anyway, this corner's going to be taken. It's now 85.5 minutes has been played. We're counting down the minutes, to be honest.
Counting down the agony.
Because it's not been fun to watch tonight at all. It's been absolutely horrendous. And that one's just over the bar, and Craig McGilvery is looking rather urged. He's wanting to get things going rather quickly, and so right he should be.
He should be doing that from the kickoff, Tom. Not with 5 minutes to go, 2-0 down.
Can I make a plea that we stop changing the formation, please? Because I think that is partly our problem. Why are we changing the formation yet again?
I don't think we are, Tom.
Why have we got...
I just don't think players are just playing out.
No. What I'm saying is we changed it before the Bristol Rovers game.
I see what you mean.
And it didn't go to plan. And we've changed it tonight, and it hasn't gone to plan. And it almost looked like the entirety of the first half, we were doing our best to work out the way in which we were told to be played. It's very totalitarian. It looks like a dictatorship of a football match in the way that Pompey is so, especially in the first half, Pompey was so rigidly fixated in their positions. There was no opportunity for players to be creative because of the way that we set up. In the end, the formation was ignored towards the end of the first half because it wasn't working. And the players almost took it upon themselves in order to do something about it.
And Kenny was very angry about that, and he told them so.
And at that point, we were 1-0 down. I don't know if anyone agrees with me. Perhaps not. Perhaps I'm just sharing an opinion that's... I don't know. But the constant change of formation for me is something that is definitely not helping. It's almost the overriding contributing factor to the downfall. Anyway, 2 minutes to go in this one. That's just my opinion, and I don't know if you agree with it in any way, shape, or
I've said
form.
everything I can say, Tom, really.
It would be wonderful if we could play a formation that the players are used to playing. They find themselves in the positions that they're actually meant to be playing in, rather than Jack Watmore as a right winger that's getting all the way up the pitch and having to provide that backup for Harness. Shouldn't be like that. And it's potentially the reason why we've left ourselves so transparent in terms of defensively. What is Tom Naylor doing back there defending that?
He's one of the very few players that ran back to get the ball, Tom.
Anyway.
No, don't challenge it. Don't challenge it. It might be a 50-50 ball.
Nicky's quite rightly said it's a valid point. We were complaining about that earlier on in the season. Then he went 4-4-2. We started winning, changed it, and look what's happened. I think that hits the nail on the head there. We're now 30 minutes from... Sorry, 30... God, imagine if we were 30 minutes. We're 30 seconds from whatever will be added on at the end of this second period. A lot of questions need to be answered after this one, I think. It's been a night where...
Another night, Tom. Another day and another
It's
night.
It's almost... I tell you what, it's almost as if this Pompey side are past their sell-by date. That's what it looks like. Looks like we've gone off. Our best before date has passed. And I think we went off at Christmas, or we went off just after Christmas. Maybe it's the sheer number of games.
Oh, same for everyone else, mate.
Maybe it's the lack of certainty and the ambiguous team formation that we're playing. When no one really quite knew what was happening in the first half. Neither did we.
Close people down quicker, pass the ball quicker, move into space for your fellow player, and play a formation that's a winning formation, attack inside. Just like Doncaster. Play like Doncaster. That's all I ask. We lose 2-0 and play like Doncaster, I don't mind.
Here's Tom Naylor now. Finds Geordie Hawula on the edge of the penalty area, and a shot is about a postcode away from the goal, and that will be another Louis Jones goal kick. The number 13 will take all the time he needs. There will be 4 minutes of additional time to play at the end of this one. And we will all be able to discuss in just a moment the damage it has done for Pompey.
If two teams below us win their games in hand, we'll be out of the top 6.
Yeah.
If Doncaster and Ipswich win their games, and especially Doncaster, with Ipswich in their game in hand, they go above us. Ipswich and Doncaster can both go above us with the games in hand.
Yeah, there's so many things that you could say that is wrong at the minute.
There's nothing right, Tom.
No, there isn't.
Look at it. 90 minutes, they're still all over us like a rash. Look at them. Watch this guy. There's 3 players there. Luckily, Cannon stopped him in the end.
Thank you for your comment, Jay. He said, Tommy, you make a great point. How are these players honestly supposed to adapt to a formation when today they've played about... Yeah, exactly. It's been ridiculous. And whether we've just tried to be too clever with it, Jay, I don't know.
No, we're not clever, Tom. The dressing room is not clever.
Anyway, it's nearly time up, luckily, for us all. This is Omar Bogle, and the referee's going to signal to play on, and Tom Naylor will tenaciously try to win the ball back as Jack Watmore's been beaten to it, and the cross goes in, and that one is eventually bundled away as far as John Marquis, who has been dragged down, and that one will be a free kick to Pompey, and Marquis is still on top of him. It will be a yellow card as well. Plymouth Argyle are down to 10 men for their game against Northampton Town. They're 2-0 down anyway, so there we go. Sunderland have their games finished. They have they've lost 1-0 to they've beaten Swindon by 1-0. Sorry, at the Stadium of Light. Here's Andy Cannon now. This is Geordie Hiwula. Marcus Harness. Cross goal. Marquis. Bang! Back of the net. 2-1 in the dying embers of this one. And Pompey, there's a severe lack of celebration, and rightfully so. But it's probably a case of too little, way too late, unfortunately. You agree, Andrew?
Yeah, Tom, not excited about that. Turn, bang, John Marcus. I'm glad he scored because he needs to get on the score sheet.
But other than that, nothing for you. 94 minutes. Consolation at best. Doesn't even really provide a consolation, does it?
No.
Oh, nearly all went a bit pear-shaped. Yeah, I think that's probably just about it, to be honest. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to very quickly go and make the overlay that means that it's 2-1 and not 2-0. And the final whistle has now gone at the Keepmoat Stadium. It's finished. Doncaster Rovers 2, Portsmouth 0.
No, 1.
Portsmouth 1. Sorry, very well. It probably deserves to be 2-0, doesn't it?
And Kenny Jackett will say it was a great goal from John Marcus at the end.
Well, it was.
A frantic finish and a great goal from Marcus, he'll say.
Yeah, I think it was. There's a final chance there, actually, for Harvey White. And referee blows his whistle, and that is that for Pompey. Well, there we are. Before we get to our guests, who will be joining us in just a moment, let's take a look and see what's still to come here on Fournilwrittenalloverit over the next couple of weeks or so. Right, it's actually a really big run of fixtures. Northampton Town are Pompey's next away opponents, followed by Portsmouth versus Sunderland, live here Tuesday the 9th of March. This time next week, join us from 6:30 for an hour and a quarter of build-up. Kickoff is at 7:45. That one's also available on Sky Sports Football. That one's followed by a trip to this place, Wembley Stadium, to play Portsmouth versus Salford City. That one's live with us here on Fournilwrittenalloverit from 2 o'clock. Myself and Andrew will join you that one alongside a whole host of guests. Then 2 crucial games in League One, and I don't even think there's any point in saying this anymore. But you know, they could be 2 painful afternoons, couldn't they? Tuesday night, the 16th of March, we will watch Peterborough United versus Pompey, and then Saturday, 20th of March, Ipswich Town make the trip down with Paul Cook to Fratton Park. Join us from. He's on. Sorry, just having a bit of a.
I better get some sleep out of me.
You're wiping the tears away, Richard. After that,
it wasn't good, was it? Wasn't good. And you couldn't even say too little, too late, really, at the end, because I say that was just well. I think Doncaster, they've done the job, haven't they? They did that in the turn of the second half. We did play better. Formation was better with Cannon being on. I say chucking Hiwula on 15 minutes before the end. I say, well, he didn't show anything really, because I say he hasn't got any service whatsoever. Because I say we're still with the long ball, aren't we? I mean, say nothing's changed. So I can't see Jackett saying a great deal to them at half time. Just probably just carry on as you are, and they certainly came out as they were from the first half. So yeah, disappointing really. So. I say, Ipswich climbing up the table, Doncaster now, getting the points that they deserve, and what hope have we got? But we said a couple of weeks ago, didn't it, that this was going to be the turning point of the season. This is what the results depended today, and I say, gone back 3 weeks ago, we've been in that situation, haven't we? So it's all our own doing, no one else's, and it needs to be looked at very quickly.
Can I be honest, Richard? You sound a little bit like Kenny Jackett when you say it needs to be looked at really quickly. Because I know he says that every single time, but it's something that needs to be looked at and actioned very quickly, doesn't it?
He also
But
says we're going to work on that.
we have. What more can you ask of the players, Richard? And why do you see it going so pear-shaped at the minute?
I think it was mentioned in one of the comments, wasn't it, with regards to the amount of times formation have changed. You know, you had it at Bristol, changed, lost. You know, get back to a 4-4-2. We sort of get some sort of stability. You know, where tie the players out, like to Cannon, Naylor. You know, constantly playing week in, week out. You know, they're absolutely burnt out, and then suddenly change from formation like they did today. You know, and that's it. The players are lost because all they know is to hit the ball forward. They can't play. I think they played one bit, I think near the end of the first half, where they played like a couple of triangles at the left-hand side, and that with Daniels, etc. And it looked a little bit promising, but it was just lackluster, you know, because they say they've got no sort of end goal. You know, they can't go, you know, and put the ball in the net. So it's a shame. You know, it's a shame to see how we know that we can actually play, but you see Jack line, you know, he's stood in his hands in his pocket, not saying anything, just watching. You know.
Would you like us to play the way that Doncaster Rovers are playing tonight? Would you like to watch that, Richard? Entertaining football?
I'd watch it week in, week out.
Yeah, same as.
I saw highlights of the Shrewsbury game the other week when was it 3-1, 3-2, whatever it was. Such an entertaining game on the local news. You think, well, why can't we do that?
Yeah,
you know, they're lower down the league than us.
Mm.
But I don't know. But the thing is, you'll see the players' interviews. You know, or we move on to the next game, this, that, and the other, and you know, it's just tiring. You know. And it felt a long 45 minutes as well. You know, you're just wishing it, you know, I'm glad it kicked off at 7 o'clock because it's like, 9 o'clock, 9:15. Once we finish the stream, that's it. You know, we can forget about 7:45 kickoff. You know, it drags on all night.
Well, that's going to happen against Sunderland, Richard, and that could be a long old evening, couldn't it? Just to say, this one includes you as well, but Oscar's very nicely said, credit to Tom, Andrew, and all the guests for doing this after watching another shameful performance. Oscar, we're here every match day for you, mate, and Richard is too. And again, mate, just to say, we really do appreciate you coming on to join us, and thank you for not rubbing the rugby in our faces too much earlier on as well. We'll do our best.
Just a quick one. I did say to Owen, actually, and a mate of mine, ever since I come on for the Charlton game, I thought when we won, I thought, that's it, you know, spurred the team on. But ever since then, we sort of results, and I'm thinking,
it's gone the completely opposite way, isn't it? Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Anyway, Richard, your company's great as always, and we will speak to you Saturday for Northampton, which if that one doesn't result in 3 points, Richard, I think we will have to stop the streams completely and just wait until. Oh, anyway, we'll have to wait and see. Thank you very much for the moment, mate. I appreciate it, and we will speak to you on Saturday.
Yeah, catch you both Saturday. Take care now.
Cheers, mate. Bye. Sean, I'm not gonna say it because I'm kind of. It's not an NDA, but it's kind of a non-signed one, as it were. Should we be calling for a little bit of a managerial reshuffle after something like that? And I know those are two very strong words, but I wonder how you see it tonight.
It looked like Jack doesn't know what his best formation, doesn't know best 11.
I'm so sorry to cut across you, Sean. We can't hear you very well. Would you like us to come back to you? There we go. Go for it. Go from the beginning, mate.
It just seemed like that Jackett doesn't know his best formation, his best 11. And it just seemed, like you said, all at sea. It's just shocking halfway through a season. How can you not know what your best team is, your best formation? Why are we going to places and second guessing their tactics and not playing our game? You know, we should be playing our game confidently and making other teams adapt to us, but we lose it before we even get on the pitch. The players look lost today. And, you know,
why is that, Sean? As you said,
They keep changing it.
Sorry, why do the players look lost? Is my question.
Lack of leadership, lack of direction from above. You know, they don't know what the coaches are trying to do. It looked like England playing rugby. It looked like they've been overcoached to the point where they've stifled out of them all individuality. And like I think Richard said, there's hardly any triangles, any passing. You know, all the basics had gone, and they were sticking to positions and just watching the game go around them. And on top of that, there was no appetite. You know, you looked at the way the Doncaster players ran themselves into the ground. Is it a fitness thing? Are our players not fit enough? Because Tom Naylor looked like he was hanging towards the end, and he was one of the only players, you know, that seemed to be putting a shift in. And Cannon came on, and he turned the game around for us. You know, we had a few chances for that, and we did look better, but not to a level where we could compete with them. And I've said it before, I think, you know, as the owners, you've got 15 games left, is it now? 2 a week. Would you pay up a couple of months' wages for a management team to bring in someone early to get them prepared for next season? We're only talking a couple of months. It's not a lot of wages.
I'm going to be incredibly careful how I tread here, Sean, but I would probably hope that I get the message across with what I say. But it isn't the most dynamic-minded upstairs, is it, right now? And I think that the pressure from the playoffs last season, you know, that remember us, that was in the really early days of streaming, but we did do a reaction to that, and there was a massive call at that point in time for a reshuffle, and it didn't happen, and we've got to this point.
At that time, I was all for Jacket. You know, I wanted to give him the chance to get there. I wanted him to succeed. You know, he seems very personable, you know, whenever he chats, and he seems like to know his stuff, but he just seems out of his depth at the minute. I don't know whether the game's changed or what, but, you know, looking at that team now, if you can honestly tell me we're going to be in the playoffs in 3 or 4 games, then I'll say stick with him. But we're not. You know, we've not been playoff form since before Christmas. And that Oxford game papered over the cracks. We said it then. It papered over the cracks. It came away really positive, really happy. But it's not. And it's going on now. So what do we do? Do we give them the chance to end the season, finish mid-table, and then you're chopping the team up anyway? Or do you get someone in to freshen up and see which players do we keep for next season?
How much does it worry you that we've come off the back of that Oxford game happy because we papered over the cracks? And how much does it worry you that now this is now what, 3 losses in 5?
But we're Pompey fans. We're always optimistic.
Well, I can tell you one Pompey fan to my left is not in any sense of the word optimistic. I don't feel particularly at the minute, but I know exactly what you're saying. And Williams made a very good point that the form-wise, it is. I know our opponents were the same tonight, but they've done the job on us. It is, you know, it's Wigan Athletic, Rochdale, Crewe Alexandra type form, isn't it? Really,
when you're not beating out of form teams, that's when you have to get worried. And you know, our form is bottom 4 at the minute. It'll be worse come next weekend if we don't get a result. Can
I just say they played the football tonight, didn't they? I would watch Doncaster Rovers on Saturday. I watch them again next Tuesday rather than watch us play football. They play some great football, pass the ball through. The speed of the control of the ball, the speed, the pace, the understanding of where you got to do, where you got to be for the next pass, and all the movement off the ball, and the passing and the skill set compared to what we were doing. I mean, it's just embarrassing.
I'll take your mind back to when the team survived in League Two. They just survived all the financial turmoil, everything else.
Andy Orford.
And the passion on the team of that point, I'd watch that week in, week out in League Two than this.
Yeah. Do you remember when he came in towards the end of the season, Sean, and he won 3 and drew 1 and we lost 1 or something like that? And it was unbelievable.
It just lifted.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change between now and the end of the season, though, in terms of the managerial positions, because it's not. That's a fact. We know that because there's too many pig-headed people at the top of the table, and it's not going to happen.
You know, as time goes on, you do think they do. You know, whilst we say they're pig-headed, they don't want to make reaction judgments, but they're businessmen as well. And if they need to see who's sellable for the summer. They need to see who they're going to keep, who they're going to build around. And if they're going to have a change in management team, they might do it just before, especially if someone's locally available. You never know.
I think you're too optimistic, my friend. I do love your optimism, but you've been eating too many jam dodgers. You need to go for a curry with our friend in Watford.
Can I just go for this? That's Aaron he's referring to, by the way. Can I just go this one? You quite rightly, and this guy's pointed it out, but Andrew did want that jacket gone before the season started. And I wonder how much money the 6 or 7 of us that come on here regularly could probably gather together in order to give the Eisners a run for their money. Anyway, thank you very much, Sean. I really appreciate you coming on once again. The same goes for you as what I said to Richard, and hopefully we can. It's got to be a 3 points against Northampton, for goodness sake, isn't it? Come on, tell us it's going to be.
The whole world's a new place there, isn't it?
It's got to be, hasn't it? It's got to be. Keep positive. We'll see what happens. You know, if Jacket keeps us in the playoffs at the end of the season, you know, I'll be delighted.
Will you? Because we'll get hammered.
We'll get hammered. We'll get hammered. But I'll be delighted that we, you know, extra couple of games, and there's a bit of hope. There's always hope. But after today's game, I'm going to go home. I'm going to go back now and get my head down, and just hopefully tomorrow I'll be a bit happy.
Can you imagine losing to Ipswich Town in the playoffs? Particularly on this YouTube platform?
I can see us losing to Ipswich in the playoffs, but we won't be in the playoffs, so it doesn't matter. Don't blame about it.
Or it could be a Wembley, you know, it could be Redknapp in the opposite dugout, that kind of atmosphere. That could be interesting.
Bit of the old Avran Grant days.
Mate, you have been eating too many jammy dodgers.
Just another one. Wouldn't you take Avran Grant back right now?
We'll take anyone back, mate.
Oh,
totally.
Anyway, what a man. Sean, thank you very much for the time being, mate. We'll have to leave it there. We're going to come to Adam, then we'll finish off with Brendan and Mike as well, and then a bit of Aaron to provide us with a bit of positivity. Thank you for the moment, mate. Right, let's go to him then. He has not stopped touching his face for the last 15 or so minutes since we've started.
I don't know what to do with myself. It's like we're playing with formations like it's a piano, mate. I don't get it. It's like Kenny's just going, wait, oh, bit of this, bit of that, bit of slow jazz. No, play football. Oh, God, it's stressful.
Adam, what do you think of Doncaster tonight?
Absolutely amazing. Honestly, that's probably one of the best teams I've seen in this league by far. That was an amazing play by them, honestly. Yeah. I wish we didn't score. I really do.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go off and now think they're like, oh, we can salvage something now. Like we've scored against them. No, you got outplayed for like 95 minutes and you got lucky.
Yeah.
I really wish we didn't score. I really didn't.
That one goal might make a difference in the end of the season, perhaps. But
of course, yeah. But for the mentality,
straws, isn't it?
I think for the mentality upstairs, they're gonna like think, oh, it's not too bad. It's a 2-1, but no, you got outplayed for like 100% of that match.
Well, the Americans won't be watching it, will they? And therefore, there'll be a message that when we go to Wembley, we lose to. I'd like to lose to Salford actually at Wembley, because we got a Wembley final, and if we win a cup at Wembley in London, remember, because you live in California, an FA Cup a cup final at Wembley in London is their be all. This is Super Bowl final stuff, isn't it? To them, that's what they're thinking.
Yeah, halftime show. Kenny Jacket halftime show, should we?
Oh, I'd love a Kenny Jacket and Joe Gallen mashup. That'd be huge, wouldn't it?
I really miss Jacobs and Johnson. I really do. I cannot have Jack Watmore play on that right side. He got turned inside out, I'll be honest.
He looked incredibly uncomfortable, didn't he? Bringing the ball up the right
really. Like, looked worse than Raggett, and Raggett's poor on his day. So and Jacobs as well, he'd be creating what Harvey White would be. So imagine those two together. It's just too much to think about. I think if Bryn Morris's Northampton beat us, then that's it. That is it for me.
I don't think we will see Mr. Adam Poirier back on the stream after Saturday if we fail to beat Northampton Town.
It will be, yeah.
One more thing to throw at you, Adam. You know, right now it's all seeming very doom and gloom, isn't it? But is there any point in me even using the words "there's a long way to go" in terms of the final 15, 16 games that we do now have to play?
I don't know. I really don't know. There's a long way to go, I think, with the dressing room. I mean, I don't even think we'll make the playoffs, mate.
I agree.
I really do now. This is what we are. Bottlers. That's it. I'll leave it on
I thought you were
that.
going to say
Bye.
plastic then. I thought, no, he can't be going there.
No, we are bottlers, right? Okay. And I'll leave it on that, and I'll see you Saturday.
Oh, mate. Have a nice sleep. Try and get yourself to sleep. No nightmares.
No nightmares. Cheers, Adam.
Cheers, buddy. Already had them. It's a good shout. Looks like Brendan's dad is about to throw his hat in the towel in, I think.
Right. I think our bad jats are going in the bin, I think, by the looks of it.
It's not Jammy Dodgers, it's Jammy Bodgers.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Kenny Jackets promotion, Dodgers, Kenny Jackets.
we have
singing that, couldn't we?
Oh, we could do our best, couldn't we? Gents, I'm sure Mike has got several notes written down that he's going to... We've got a couple more in there.
There's 2 left in the pack.
How many have you eaten? I had one.
For Saturday.
Yeah. I'm not celebrating with a Dodger. That was terrible. Yeah. I don't know if you're aware, but I have 4 sons, and Brendan's the youngest one, and I have 2 others that are into Pompey. The oldest one's not into football at all, but I've got Niall, who's in the Navy, and Connell. They're avid Pompey supporters like us. They just don't live with us. That's why they're not here. They've got their own houses, and they come up with some comments because we've got obviously our WhatsApp group. And Connell says Jacket should be thankful there isn't a travelling Pompey tour, which is true. His formations he has played tonight are totally clueless. Paper over the cracks. Watch Kenny turn it into a positive and justify this shocking performance. And he will do, because he'll stand on the touchline tonight, if he's most probably doing it now, smiling, his little cheesy grin and things like that. I know it's not what he actually is projecting, but that just rolls, I think, quite a few people up when he's being interviewed. And Niall, the one who's in the Navy, he says he needs to be held accountable. He don't care. His contract's over in 3 months. I suspect there's a major fallout somewhere. This isn't the same squad. And all of those comments from my boys, and of course what we say as well, we agree. They're quite true, I believe. This isn't Pompey, and I said it at half time. This isn't Pompey.
No, well, funny you should say you've got 2 other boys. We've got 2 other boys as well. Oliver, you see him on here from time to time. And Alexander, he lives in Nottingham. Actually, he went to university at Loughborough and stayed in Nottingham. Oliver lives with his bird here locally, so we don't see too much of them. But obviously, home games and away games, they're always there, and we keep them off this channel. So on occasions they come in, but to give everyone else a view rather than just our family views, and like you saying,
it's very marginalised. We all kind of think the same thing, so it's better to open it up.
Unfortunately, they all think the same way as us, and sadly, as Tom said, he's got to be a little bit more careful because he's got connections at Pompey News now. He's got connections with Mark Catlin and the crew there. So and we're about
quite rightly so. We're with you on that. Don't worry. We understand and totally agree that.
Oh well, yeah.
Not me though. I don't care.
He just goes for it, but I kind of. Anyway, I appreciate that, gents. But just going back to what we've seen tonight, particularly Brendan, for you, is that the worst Pompey performance you've seen this season? Is it the worst for several years now? I can't really think of the worst one. Can you?
It was extremely poor tonight, I must say. Worst of the season, I'm not sure. I think the whole game was pretty poor. I don't think Hull outclassed us at home. I think that day Hull were good, but we were not at the races at all that day. But yeah, tonight wasn't good. I think it proved that Jack isn't particularly a right back. I know a 25-year-old professional football player who plays in defence should be able to play anywhere really across the back line. I don't know why I don't think James Bolton's not injured, so I think I'd rather put a natural fullback in there. I know Jack needs to be in the team. What made me laugh, and one of my friends messaged me once they scored their second goal, was like, great, both goals go down the right wing and the right back gets caught out, yet then he subs off the left back and brings Brown on, which I think we didn't need to bring on Brown. You know, if anything, you take, you put somebody out on the right hand side, like a fullback like Brown. If you want to make that change, I know Brown isn't a right back. Yeah, he's not right footed, so wouldn't go out the right naturally. But it's somebody who plays in a fullback position, which I think would be more worthy of making a sub rather than taking Daniels off, unless Daniels is tired.
Daniels was probably a little bit tired, you're right, but also Daniels was getting forward well, wasn't he? Brown sat back, so therefore Jackett's looking to defend a 2-0 loss rather than embarrass it even further. Perhaps that would be my view. It's just a negative change to stop them scoring more goals, and it probably worked quite well. Really, we didn't get forward too much, did we?
No, we missed Callum Johnson down that right side. I don't think there's much going down. I mean, I know Manoga. I think Manoga is obviously still not match fit at all. I don't think, and he's or match savvy, shall I say, because he hasn't played enough games rather than match fit. He most probably is.
He's very rash, isn't he? He dives in and jumps in. And he's very. I like his intensity. I like the fact that he's a strong lad and he puts a tough tackle in, and he was there to clear the ball away a lot when the ball fell to him in the box, and he's not shy in a header. But I don't think he's mature in the sense of a League One. Like, I don't know, he's not a mature player like Johnson is, or Brown. I think it would have been sufficient for him to go out on loan. I think, not at the moment. Obviously, not at the moment because we need as much rotation as possible with the players being knackered. But I think at the start of the season, he needed 6 months away in maybe the National League or even in League Two, just to have a run out of a fair few games, not just in the Papa John's Trophy,
Mike, this one's for you, mate, because you can say it rather than anyone on this side of the line, as it were. But how much worse does it need to get, particularly this season, for there to be any kind of reshuffle in terms of the way that the club and the players are overseen, perhaps?
We need a reshuffle. It's not going to happen. He's going to get his 3 months till the end of the season, and he might even get another contract. Stranger things have happened. Do they understand the football? Does Mr. Catlin want to keep his job? I'm sure he does. How much influence does he have over whether we keep Jackett or get rid of him with the Eisners? I don't know. I think Jackett's here till the end. I can't see them pulling the plug on him at all.
To ask that question sort of a bit further, so when was the last time a manager sort of overstayed their welcome as a Pompey manager? Would you go back to Terry Fenwick? Did he overstay his welcome when he was dragging Pompey through the mud? And no, God rest his soul, Ian St. John today, who's passed away sadly. Did he overstay his welcome at the club when he was?
Well, he was here for
bad times?
I think it was 3 years, 73 to 70. No, was it 74 to 77? And I remember meeting him once when I was in the Navy at HMS Nelson. And I don't think he was a manager. I don't think he didn't do us any particular, good things as far as I can remember. I was still in the Navy then, as I say, and away a lot. So I just don't think we're going to change managers anytime before the end of the season, if ever, if then.
Essentially, it is essentially a budget thing why we're not getting rid of him, I think.
Yeah, it would. I agree with you. It would really, really surprise me if something drastic happened. But
do we need it? Yes.
We need it this week in League One, this week in football wider. Darren Moore to Sheffield Wednesday, Paul Cook back in at Ipswich. We
could get in the second place if we changed manager now. We could get in second place. We could play football like Doncaster Rovers played tonight. They were very quick.
They were
very quick. A very good outfit. Bear in mind they've lost the last 4 games, and they go and turn us over like that. Shocking, isn't it? Shocking. They played such good football. I'd like to watch that every week. It's brilliant, and that's all we're asking for. We don't want Kenny to get hung up from Spinnaker Tower. We just want to see some football, don't we?
Yeah, we used to do that. I remember Portsmouth used to play football.
Yeah, there was a time, Mike. There was a time, very sadly. Gents, anything to add just before we speak to Aaron, and then we're all very sadly going to have to end tonight. What a shame.
Well, Saturday's going to come, and again, it's another team who's not pushing in the top playoff spaces. Not Northampton. Is that the catalyst of turnaround for Pompey?
We hope every game, the next game.
I know. That's what I was going to say. It's something that we keep kicking into the long grass, isn't it? Oh, yeah, next week we'll be back on it. This will be the start of something big for Pompey. Anyway, gents, if we... I know this is very negative, but if we somehow don't beat Northampton at the weekend, other than bottom of League 2 with Andy Orford, as we were discussing with Sean earlier, can you remember a worse time to be a Pompey fan in living memory? Really?
I don't know, for myself.
Do you know what? I forever the optimist, I suppose. I always want to think about the good times.
Yeah,
doesn't feel like one at the minute, though, Mike.
I don't want to dwell on the bad times. I've had loads of trips to Wembley. We've had loads of good cup games. I've started to go to a lot more away games in the last few seasons, and we've had some good results on the road. So even at home, no, I don't want to be a negative man. I want us to play better. That's why I'm a bit annoyed rather than anything else. I want us to play better.
Just fine. We don't want to be negative either. We just want to be realistic and just want to.
No. I would rather be up than down. You know what I mean?
Just finally, Brendan. This is the make or break question, really. But do you think Kenny Jackett would still have a job if Fratton Park was packed every week with 18,500 fans?
No, Fratton Park would not be a very nice place to go. I don't know, because I always like to look back on. He would. I don't think he would still be there. Because Fratton Park would turn awfully toxic. You know, I've seen parts of the ground. I've seen in the past when it's been toxic. You know, back in the day, as I mentioned a moment ago, people chanting, "We want Fenwick out," and and there's people. Time we don't want managers in. You know, Tony Adams didn't have a good run as Pompey manager, and people turned against him, and people turned against Paul Hart. Paul Hart didn't have a good start, or didn't have a good sort of finish towards his time at Pompey.
Yeah, Guy Whittingham perhaps is another one to throw into the mix.
Yeah, I was watching a Simon Ferry podcast. He did, and he was talking about his time with Guy Whittingham. You know, I love Guy a bit. I think he's brilliant. He's a sort of a bit of a hero to us. And he said, as a bloke, loveliest bloke you'll ever meet, but he wasn't a manager. You know, he wasn't a manager of that standard that we needed.
And very sadly, at the minute, he is fighting a bit of a battle in hospital, isn't he? But Steve Cottrell, to an extent, I think towards the end, was another one that was sort of pushed out the door rather by
to be fair, he was shocking.
By Pompey fans.
Richie Barker, let's have another one.
Yeah. What is number 2? Steve Coppell. It'd only come at weekends, wouldn't he? Coppell only come and stand on the touchline. He would never come to training during the week. That's another thing that Simon Ferry.
I reckon it's his wife telling him to get out the house on a Saturday afternoon. I think that's what Coppell was about.
Absolutely. Gents, thank you very much for that. And we will speak to you on Saturday. And as we all know, these two are fantastic with their positivity, as is our next guest, which is Aaron, who very kindly joins us now. Mate, you've been waiting patiently. Thank you very much indeed for that.
Shocking.
You've got as much time as you want to just lay your thoughts out.
Well, I'm very positive. I'm always positive. You have to be, being a Portsmouth fan. But it's just heartbreaking. Absolute heartbreaking. There's got to be something else wrong in the dressing room. Because last match, not one player shook Kenny Jackett's hand as they walked off the pitch. Not one player. And I don't think they've done it tonight either. So I think there must be something else going wrong in that dressing room. We should not be playing like this. Like everyone said, Doncaster, amazing. I would love to be playing that each week in, week out. But it's scary. If we do not get a result on Northampton on Saturday, then that's it. Season's over. We're mid-table. I hate to say it, I'm always positive, but after that result, that's shocking, absolute shocking. It's just, you just don't know what's going to happen. Kenny will stay till the end of the season. We know that. The owners have already said that, but I follow them on Twitter, and it is toxic. The amount of stick and grief they get week in, week out. I don't know direct messages. But like just on their feeds when they comment about the game, it's just toxic. It's horrible. Some of the stuff is really, really nasty. So something really does need to happen and happen quickly.
I'm not condoning it in any way, shape, or form, but do you feel like, not the toxicity, but do you feel like perhaps the content of the messages, it can somewhat be justified at this moment in time, can't it? I mean, things are not great, are they? You can see why people do it. Obviously, some of the rubbish that people post on social media.
Go on. Second. Just read that comment from Forever Football.
Yeah, okay. Aaron, if you just answer that question, then that'd be and then
what question?
Sorry, just me. It wasn't really a question, was it? But I was just going to say, no. It kind of was. We were leading up to one. Do you understand the reason for the nature of some of the messages because of the way things are?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Because if we were like everyone said, if we were actually at Fratton Park, it would be toxic atmosphere and everyone be raging over the football pitch. But because you've got social media and everything, everyone gets a say and everything. So I can completely understand. That's not something that I would do because, like I said, it's my team and everything. I support them no matter what, win, lose or draw. But it's just frustrating. I find it extremely frustrating, especially at the beginning of the night. It's like, yeah, come on, we're going to do this. And then all of a sudden you get it all ripped out of you and everything.
It's amazing how different the chat is in the hour before the game as opposed to the hour after the game, isn't it? And that's been a bit of a unfortunate trend, hasn't it, in the last couple of weeks, especially on this particular stream.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially like I was saying at half time, with the players, they all come out and say, right, this needs to be changed, this needs to be changed. And then you actually get snippets of the training sessions, and then all of a sudden it's the same every game. It's just like, well, what are you doing in training? Are you actually wanting to? I know the vast majority are out of contract at the end of the season. Are they all starting to think now, well, I'm out of contract now, can I go play somewhere else? Can I do this? What can I do? And their agents all on the cases now because of the wage structure has been scrapped. So they're looking to, so I don't know who it is, but I strongly believe that there's something not right in that dressing room. I don't know if Kenny's lost the dressing room or what, but something needs to happen and needs to happen quickly.
Aaron, it's a trip to Wembley in a week and a half's time. That's kind of come at a bit of a rubbish time for Pompey now, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely, because that game is on the Saturday, and on that Saturday we were actually supposed to play Peterborough, but because that game has been postponed, Peterborough, we're not playing them until the Tuesday. So Peterborough now got a week off, a week's rest from Tuesday to Tuesday until we meet them. But then we're playing like the Wembley, so we're only getting a couple of days rest. So it is that the wrong time and everything. In my heart, yeah, I would love another trophy and everything, but we got Peter. I can't see us getting a result against Peterborough. They're flying at the moment, and it's just this thing was Saturday, Tuesday. It's just killed the team. But it's just heartbreaking.
But has it killed Doncaster Rovers this Tuesday, Saturday? No.
No. So this is why I'm thinking there's something wrong in that dressing room. Something has happened. It happened last season as well. There must have been something, an argument with Jackett and a few players. I think that is why he dropped him in the playoffs. So I think personally something's happened and it's just not gelling. No one wants to play for the team at the moment, which is a shame. This is a fantastic football club to play for. The fans are so loyal and everything. We back them 100%. It's something needs to be changing very, very quickly, because otherwise we're slipping away in that league. And if we keep playing the way we're playing, if we do not get a result at Northampton on Saturday and everyone else wins, we're out of the playoffs. We're out of the top six.
We're probably out of the top six anyway, because the two games in hand, the teams below us have got, take them into the top six with a win. And they're going to win those two games because they want to.
But they've got to win them first. That's the thing. They've got to win them. But
and there's you even more jammy dodges and being even further deluded. They're going to win those two games.
Yeah. I've had enough of jammy dodgers at the moment. My boys got out and bought even more of the jam and cream ones. They're really nice.
Aaron, I was instructed by the man to my left this afternoon to make sure we get some jammy dodgers for the stream when I went to Tesco. So I think it mirrors in both households, and it's great that something like that can tie us together. And I in no way wish to blow our own trumpets here because we're Pompey fans or whatever. But you were mentioning how passionate the fan base is. We've sat here for however many weeks it's been now, 3 hours every single match day, just discussing the football, giving the commentary, chatting to you, chatting to the other guys. That's just a small example of the passionate fans, and they don't deserve this, do they? And I know it'll be nice if there's another, trophy in the cabinet, but we'll only have it for a day, and then either Tranmere or Sunderland will go and win it again, won't they? So, just on that thing, it's been there's some football clubs around the country, and I know people have been through tough times with EFL and points deduction, etc. I would probably say, other than Bury, there is no other team in the country that have had a bad time like Pompey is there. Bottom of League Two, close to non-existent.
Bolton I put in there.
Well, okay, Bolton as well. There's a handful of clubs, isn't there? But Aaron, how strongly do you feel that this needed to be the time, didn't it, for Pompey to really kick on? And the fans don't deserve another season of League One football, do they?
No, I want to get out of this league as soon as possible. But I think it was one day last week. It was actually 11 years to the day that we first went into administration in the Premier League. And it was just like all them years, all that struggle and heartbreak from the Premier down to League Two. And then we win the League Two the other season, 2017. And then we've just been stuck here, stuck in a rut, and it's over and over. And then we get pushed up so high, and then all of a sudden we get knocked back down, shattered dreams and everything. And then we go again, and then it happens again. And then playing people out of position and like the formations as well. It's like stick with your best team. And the hoofball, I can't stand it.
Do you think sometimes we get a little bit mugged off because of the passion we've got as Pompey fans? We all stick with it week in, week out as we do. There's thousands and thousands. When you take somewhere like, and I'm going to use a metaphor here. I'm going to use a metaphor that is
this is dangerous.
That is Brentford Football Club. Right, look at where they are. Look what they're doing. Look what they've done from where they've come from, and since we've been where we've been to where they've come from in the last 8 years, it's actually there is a lot more wrong than just playing football. In my view, there's an awful lot wrong there with the ambition that this football club should have. Okay, we've come a long way in 11 years, but have we? We come out of administration. Well, no one's going to ever go into administration a club of this size because that would wreck the whole city, wouldn't it?
Can I just
so I think there's
just mind holding that thought for just a second. Alex sadly couldn't join us tonight. He said, "Evening, gents. Now time to lose to Sunderland, and I can say we'll finish outside the playoffs." We'll discuss Jacket's formation and exactly that. I'm going to ask Aaron the question that the point I made towards the end of commentary. But you were saying about Brentford, and I'm assuming your point was that the model of that is something that we really need to replicate.
Yes, exactly. They're playing great football in the Championship, and they look like they're going to get into the Premier League. And they built a new stadium right in West London where you couldn't afford to do it. And they've got the right infrastructure in place, the right managerial attitude. And all we talk about is new taps in the South Stand where we are for the bog, and a half-wit maybe an extension.
And Barry Harris's ball bag.
And maybe a little extension in the Milton End so that 150 Morecambe fans can sit in it next winter. What are we talking about?
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. And when the owners came in, it all sounded good, but because of COVID and everything, it's knocked us back. But we should not be in the position we are now. It's just, I think there's something strongly wrong in the back office and the players and everything, and they need to look hard at themselves. And we need to pull them up by the bootstraps, but it's the players that need to perform on that pitch. Even though they've got the manager, we've got such a good squad to actually win this league, but they're just not performing. It's just heartbreaking because everyone's so passionate thing at the beginning of the game, and then you can just see it throughout with all the comments in the live stream, and it just knocks everyone for six. It's heartbreaking. And like for yourselves and everything as well, doing the show and everything, it's fantastic what you do, but then afterwards you must think, what is the point? We're doing this, and it's heartbreaking, guys. It's like, how are you finding it, Tom?
Well, it's not. I don't want to say something because I'm angry with the football, but
that's understandable.
It's not so much. It's not so much that we just think, what's the point? Because as you quite rightly said a minute ago, we're Pompey, will be, won't we? And it's Portsmouth till we die, and that's what it's going to be for however long it will be. But what I would say is you do think That was absolutely awful. I mean, we've had a fantastic night in terms of chatting to hundreds and hundreds of Pompey fans on the stream, chatting to the 7 or 8 of you guys that join us week in, week out. You know, it's brilliant interaction wise, but you do just think, I just wish that passion that's shown on here could be replicated, and the passion that you show, the passion that Sean and Richard and Brendan and Mike and all the other guys and Adam and Alex show, could be replicated on the pitch, because this football club means so much to so many people, and it's just such a shame that things seem to be going down the pan the way they are. Go on.
The difference is, you listen to Kenny Jackett talk, it don't mean as much to him. It really doesn't. Joe Gallen a little bit more, but Jackett has got not one sense. He's never in one game, and we've been to most away games in last 10 seasons. Not once has he ever come up to the away end, at Blackpool away when we drew 1-1. Never ever acknowledged any of the fans in home or away and said, "Thanks for your support. You've been brilliant." You know,
yeah.
And that was a trademark Paul Cook thing, wasn't it?
Me, that sort
Every
of thing.
time.
We've driven to Blackpool, we've driven to Morecambe, we've driven to freaking Carlisle, we've been to Hartlepool away, and not one recognition for the support and the attitude that we show towards the football club. I don't like it. I don't like people that haven't got the passion, and he hasn't got the passion, and it really annoys me when he stands there and is monotone and boring and doesn't actually give any real excuse or even argument about how bad we've been playing. He avoids it. He just talks almost like it doesn't happen. He's almost deluded, as much as you were about to score before we kicked off at half.
Oh, but at least we had more corners.
Well, this is very true. This is very true.
It's just unbelievable. Like I'll be down now all day tomorrow. Even with the streams coming up with Kenny's pre-match and post-match talks, I won't even watch it, because it's the same thing week in, week out. And then come Friday again, it's like, right, we're playing tomorrow. Right, let's get behind the boys and everything. And then it happens again. It's just right. But if we do not beat Northampton on Saturday, then that's our season over.
Yeah, but if we do beat them, we're going to be happy, but we're not going to be happy.
Oh yeah, we're always happy when Pompey win, but we're gutted when they don't.
Oh, of course we are, and there'll be nightmares about this tonight. But let's give credit to Doncaster. They were brilliant, I thought, tonight.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
Outfit. Great but that is what we want. All we're asking to see in it is to watch us play football like that. That's all we've been asking for. And then the manager's a hero. We'll build a statue for him outside Fratton Park. Just play.
It was like the way they were closing down the players. They were reading the anticipation of what we were going to do. So they had runners running to our players to actually block the shot, block the pass, and they done it fantastic. It was absolutely lovely to watch.
Yeah, exactly my point. And exactly my point. And without a decent manager, you will never get that. And then he's going to be here to the end of this season. That's a fact. And Mark Catlin, Mark Catlin, the thankers for saying the things we said tonight, but he's going to be here.
Yeah, it has been a bit of a borderline one from us tonight.
But Tom, we've been saying it for 3 seasons, Bush. You know, it hasn't come to us as a surprise, is it?
I think it has been noted through other means as well. I think some of the other news feeds as well, they've actually put their views across to the owners. Other people, the other sponsors have actually noticed it as well. So I think it's all starting to do that domino effect. But if they want to do anything, they could. But are they choosing not to? Because if they did sack, let's just say they sack him, they've got to pay him off for the rest of the 3 months. I know it's not great, but something really, and like everyone keeps going, oh, it's a long way to go. We've got 15 games now, and then come Saturday, it's 14 games. So we're running out of time. It's not like come last month, it's like, oh, a long way to go. We've got 57 points to play for. It's now coming down to the 40s, and then all of a sudden we'll have 5 games left, and we're mid-table.
Aaron, I had to think about that as soon as I said it earlier. I said to Adam after the full-time whistle went, I said, is it worth saying there is a long way to go? When you get to 15 games, we're playing twice a week, aren't we? So that is now what? 7 weeks, less than 2 months left of the season. That's not long at all.
And if we do want to go to playoffs and if we do want automatics, I would love us to get automatics, but you would have to now win every single game. And I can't see us winning 2, 3 of them.
You'd have to win every single game and hope that 2 or 3 teams drop probably 3 or 4 games.
We will be heavily reliant, won't we, on other teams? Yeah.
But the thing is now is Lincoln has dropped how many points now? All the other teams around us have dropped so many points. We should have capitalised on that. Yeah. And I worked it out earlier on. If we had actually won the games that we were supposed to have won, we would have actually been 2 points in front of Peterborough. But we haven't won them, and we're now in the position we are. And it's just so frustrating.
One comment's on the screen. Good. Bring it down a little bit, Tom. Andrew Lloyd says, interestingly.
Andrew?
Yes.
That one?
Yes. He says, with respect, I suppose Donny played really well tonight because they have a new manager and a Donny legend in Andy Butler. The team want to play for him. So exactly my point. The team want to play for the manager and they want to show him that they can play football. And he's got them lined up and motivated and in the right formation and passing the ball to each other.
That's they've got a point to prove. They've got a point to prove their new manager.
We've got a rotational squad, haven't we? Every single player should be saying, I want to be playing now, not Tuesday, half a game. You know, they should be fighting for their place. When he took Charlie Daniels off, I understand that because he's a bit older, perhaps needed a bit of a rest. And as I said earlier, I think it was there to defend a 2-0 lead after that. But then said that, I think Doncaster were brilliant tonight, and hats off to them. They were a lot better than we were, and that's all we want to do. We're not whinging here. We want to watch football the way Doncaster play football.
Well, what I thought was happening as well is when the players weren't performing, Jackett was actually dropping them and putting other players in. So then they would actually think, well, I'm not playing good enough. I need to improve to get back into that squad. And I thought it was working, but all of a sudden, players aren't playing good enough. They're being dropped. Other players are coming in. They're not playing good enough. So the players are coming back in and they're still not playing good enough. And you can see it now on the pitch and it's frightening. It really is because, like I said to Tom earlier on, half of them players are out of contract in the summer. And I can see us losing our goalkeeper in the summer if we do not sort this out because he's unbelievable.
Craig is the reason why we are where we are, Aaron, isn't he, as well?
Definitely. He should be a minimum championship player. Because he's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. The amount of saves he's done over the last couple of years and kept us in games. It's a defence that's let him down. He's so vocal, but we just need that someone who's in charge to get the players playing together as a team. But there's no one taking responsibility and being in charge on that pitch. And it's sad. It really is. We've got a phenomenal squad. We are changing positions around, but that formation, we had it working. If it's not broken, don't fix it. And he changed it so many times. We had the formation, it was working, but now it's just what the hell is going on? It's gutted, absolutely gutted, shocked and stunned, and very gutted. I think I might go and open that other packet of Jeremy Dodgers.
I think we might need to do the same. Tesco's open till 11, mate, so I might nip down there in a minute and just go and get some more. Aaron, you have the final word before we go to the promos, mate. How do you expect Pompey's season to finish now we've had that really depressing result in South Yorkshire tonight?
Well, the next 2 games will tell what we're going to happen. If we lose against Northampton and then Sunderland, we won't even make the playoffs.
Okay. But you'll be here for them, won't you?
Oh, yeah. I'll be here on Saturday going, we're going to go on a run now. Yeah, that's it. Automatics straight away.
Exactly. Aaron, thank you very much for that, mate.
No worries. Have a good evening, gentlemen.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, mate. And we will see you on Saturday.
Yeah, play up Pompey, boys.
Play up Pompey. You now have the closing word before we go to the promos, mate. Go on. You haven't really given you your opportunity. I don't want you to make it too long because it's nearly 10 o'clock.
We outclassed Art played by what is a reasonably poor Doncaster side from the last 4 games, isn't it? And they played us off the park. Great attitude from them.
Okay.
Pass the ball well, and I enjoyed watching Doncaster. That's what I'd say.
Just a quick message to everyone who still joins us live here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. If you've been with us since 6 o'clock this evening, we really, really do appreciate it. And thank you so much from both myself and Andrew and all the guests that have joined us tonight. We really do appreciate your company. I know it's been a tough one tonight. What on earth are you doing? Stretching. I know it's been a really tough one tonight, but thank you to William, who is always here, as is the legend Sean Meads. And LJOFC has said thank you for the stream. Another amazing one. I'm very angry about a disgraceful performance. So are we, mate. See you Saturday. And if we don't win, we don't know what we'll do. Thank you to Neil, who said, cheers, Tom and Andrew. Keep safe and keep the faith.
Thanks, Neil.
And Mickey said, cheers, Tom and Andrew. Thanks for the stream. See you Saturday, everyone. Keep the faith and play at Pompey. And Robert, thank you for your comment on the commentary. That is where we're going to leave it this evening. Andrew, thank you very much for joining me. And we are going to leave you tonight by having a look ahead and see what is coming up here on Fournilwrittenalloverit over the next couple of weeks.
Play at Pompey.
So it is make or break time for Pompey now. Northampton Town are our next opponents away from home. Then it's Portsmouth versus Sunderland live here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. It's Tuesday the 9th of March, 6:30. Join us. Kickoff is at 7:45. It's also available live on Sky Sports Football. But the only place to watch it is right here with us on Fournilwrittenalloverit. Following that, it's a trip to Wembley, as we've discussed at length just now with all the boys. We'll be live from 2 o'clock for that one, Saturday the 30th of March, followed by 2 big games in League One. It's Peterborough United and Ipswich Town next up for Pompey. Tuesday the 16th of March for the Peterborough game, and then Saturday the 20th of March for the Ipswich Town one. We are live an hour and a quarter before kickoff for that one. Right, all that's left for me to say is next Tuesday, we've got something exciting for you in store. Next Tuesday, it's the big one. Portsmouth versus Sunderland live in League One right here on Fournilwrittenalloverit.
They're a dangerous team. They're not as dangerous as us, obviously, but they're a dangerous team.
Never in doubt, mate. Absolutely never in doubt.
But generally speaking, we're heading the right way, and that's up.
Charlie White. Is he magic?
Who?
Charlie White.
No, it's terrible.
It's live from Fratton Park and kickoff is at 7:45. Really looking forward to bringing you that on live. As I say, from Fratton Park, we will be here from 6:30 this time next week. The next time you will see us is for the Northampton game, which is live here on Fournilwrittenalloverit from 2:15 in just a couple of days' time. All that's left for me to say is thank you to everyone once again for joining us. Keep the faith. Look after yourselves. Have a great week. We'll see you on Saturday. Bye-bye for now.